Great start to a Sunday. I'm guessing that you're in a very different time zone than me, but welcome to the stream. We're going to give it just a little bit for people to hop in. I kind of got pre-stream stuff set up a lot faster than normal. Normally we're sitting here on the starting student screen for far longer. But welcome. So yeah, if you couldn't tell by the name there, we are Australia. That makes sense. We are resuming PokeConsume. It's kind of ironic that this was voted for in the Discord. There's something else on this little series I'm doing that's releasing soon, that I kind of just got wrapped up with. So kind of just good timing. I think it releases on Tuesday, I want to say. But let me find the right button here. Yes, so we are back to doing PokeConsume. Now, we did the first 2 generations in the first stream of this. The whole idea, to kind of recap, is we're going to be taking a look at every Pokemon from Generation 3 and hopefully 4. We'll see if I have time for that. I have plans later tonight, but hopefully we have time for Generation 4. The whole idea isn't just, can you eat the Pokemon, right? Like, can you eat this Treecko? The idea is, would you want to? We're trying to take morality out of it. We're trying to take, ethics out of it of like, oh, it's too cute. I don't want to eat this thing. We're trying to take that and put it to the side as much as we can. It's just, would the meal, when being served to you, be something that you would want to consume, as it says it's hard to point, up there in that corner. But yeah, welcome to stream, Psycho Panda and Nightfall. So yes, we are starting off here Generation 3. So with Treecko off the bat, I'm already mixed feelings. Yeah, also, as always, let me know if the music is too loud or too quiet. I'm always more concerned about it being too loud. So Treecko's small hooks at the bottom of his feet. What is Treecko supposed to be, though? Like, just like a lizard? What's Treecko's whole deal? I found the channel a few days ago, and I watched most of your videos so far, and love the ones where you buy Pokemon from online places. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to that. Marmar, welcome to stream as well. What is Treecko... I can't spell Treecko. Based on? A leaf-tailed gecko. Not sure if I would want to eat a gecko, I won't lie. Hey, no idea how to say your name, but nevertheless, I'm guessing. Welcome to stream. And, okay, yeah. I should have guessed gecko, but I'm not very intelligent. Most reptiles are going to be a no from me. I know previous generations, like we said, certain ones were fine, like alligator, right? I don't think I'm eating the gecko. I think we're passing on this one. Feel free to leave arguments in chat for positive or negative if you would want to eat these things. So we have Grovyle. I'm guessing it's the exact same thing for the entire line. I think Treecko's entire line is going to be gecko based, right? Grovyle. Yeah, leaf-tailed gecko and theropod dinosaurs, such as the Velociraptor. So we could figure out what a Velociraptor tastes like, right? This would be a good chance. Aboriginals here do eat lizards and geckos. Well, did. Interesting. I think I'm good, but one thing that we learned during the the first stream of this is that if it exists, there is someone who eats it. Probably too tough. Yeah, that's my guess. I think we're gonna pass on the entirety of the Treecko line. So yeah, Sceptile. I mean, you got some rufflage in the tail there, right? You got some greens. There's a bit of an argument there, just almost like, you know, getting some lettuce. Feels kind of wrong though to take down an entire creature just for some leaves that you could get otherwise. Alright, Torchic. So, I'm guessing this is going to be a case of it's really too small to consider, but as it evolves, it's probably a better idea, right? Like, right now, you're talking like one chicken nugget, right? One spicy chicken nugget. It is chicken, but I'm guessing, look up its weight. Torchic, weight. 5.5 pounds. What's the average weight of a chicken? Chicken weight. Okay. 3.5 to 5.5 pounds? Let me look at this. Okay, this is way too much math. I'm looking for a simple answer. Someone said about 350. I am not seeing firm answers here. Well, it's chicken. I'm eating Torchic fried chicken. What I miss, Mom says hi. A bag of chicken nuggets. Well, like, if it weighs 5.5 pounds, like, that's about the equivalent of a normal chicken. Like, I was heavily leaning towards, like, this thing does not weigh enough, right? We're gonna have to wait for it to, I need to adjust my mic here. We're gonna have to wait for it to, like, grow up. I think it's large enough by itself. I think we eat the Torchic. Torchic would be the size of a quail. So a Combuskin, I mean, there's gonna be the same thing here, right? I mean, those are some big drumsticks right there. We're definitely saying yes to Combuskin if we said yes to Torchic, but I'm curious about its weight. 43 pounds. That is a big, spicy bird right there. My favorite starter is so getting 8. Who is your favorite starter? Yeah, I feel like this one's pretty obvious. It toughens up its legs and thighs by running through fields and mountains. So it even focuses on the part that I was focusing on. Like, this one's a no-brainer. 2 chickens in 1. So yeah, Blaziken. I feel like Blaziken, like, changes up a bit, though, right? Like, is it still just based on a chicken? Like, I don't think so. Yeah, it is. Shamu chickens. Mythical fire-breathing, Basan? I don't know how to say that. The fire-breathing bird. Also very human-like, which is always the off-putting thing. But it is, ideally, still just a larger chicken. So yeah, Nightfall. That's another part of, like, the argument here, right? Is, like, it's not a question of can you take it down, right? This is like you're at a restaurant or you're going to Walmart to get groceries and Blaziken is presented to you as a meal. Torchic, number 1 all time. Blaziken loses flavor because turkey now. I don't see anything about Blaziken with turkey at all. Like, I've always assumed, like, some turkey inspiration from Blaziken, but it looks like it's mostly based on a chamal chicken. Yeah, I think I'm down to eat this boy. Look up, Bahama chickens. I think I spelled that right. Let me look that up. B-A-H-A chicken. Oh, well, if I had my hands on the keyboard correctly. I did multiple M's there. Brahma chicken. Those are some big boys. Yeah, okay, I'm eating it. Spicy chicken by Torchic would be more tender. Blaziken could be the equivalent of B-Dub's Blazing Wings. That's a good point. Although you don't really have wings on Blaziken. Like, you have these weird, like, feathery things, like, coming off of its head, which there's probably some meat there, right? Based on, like, the way they move. Let's change the style. So we have, like, the HD style, which I think is what we went with during the original one. I think it gives you a better representation here. We have the 3D and the clean, which is always just bizarre to me. I think we're eating the Blaziken. I don't think there's a whole lot of meat in total. Like, I honestly think it loses a lot of what it had as Combusken. But I still think that there's some good eating there. Mudkip. This I'm really mixed on. Let's look up some things on Mudkip. So, combination of Mudskippers, yeah, and Axolotl. Possibly a gilded lungfish as well. I mean, I could definitely see the Mudskipper inspiration, obviously in the name, but also that's the way that they look. I'm really thinking no. Like, I'm really thinking no on the Mudkip. Yes, fish. Dad doesn't like his feet, hands, so no eating. Might be good, like fried catfish, salamander. I'm heavily leaning no. Like, it not only it does weigh 16.8 pounds, which is a lot heavier than I thought it would. Like, the Mudkip has to be a lot bigger than Torchic. Well, Torchic's like 5.5. This is like 3 times Torchic's weight, which is just like bizarre to think about that they're starters from the same generation. They're generally depicted as being like similar in size. No, I'm heavily leaning no. Like, we're talking like a Mudskipper. Nah. Marsh Stomp. It's gonna be, I think a lot of things, these evolution lines, a lot of times we're talking like basically just the same thing but bigger. But I mean, that was my guess. And like, there's that whole idea of like, you don't generally want to eat animals that eat like rancid things or like trash food. Generally they're considered like trash meat, right? It does actually like change their physiology, and I feel like we'd be dealing with the same thing here with the entirety of this line. Yeah, Swampert, same thing. Alright, starters are out of the way, and immediately we go straight to a dog, and my immediate thought is, no, it's a dog. But we're trying to remove morals from this whole thing. It's 30 pounds. When it evolved, it's 82 pounds. I'm no on all sea and water Pokemon, so like, you don't like fish at all. No eat doggy. I'm really leaning no. Like, again, the idea is to remove morality from the argument, but like, you know, as much as possible, I'm having trouble removing that morality from what is literally just a puppy. I say yes because compared to all of the other Pokemon options, it's pretty sane. Can't do fish or seafood. Okay. I'm a big seafood person. My parents actually ran a seafood place when I was a lot younger. Looks like it would be rough meat. That took me a split second. It wasn't until I read it out loud that I understood the joke there. I'm also leaning no. I mean, I also think like the dark type inspiration, right? The things that we understand about Mightyena and Poochyena, generally living in like alleyways and more like dirty places. I'm thinking it would probably also kind of fall into line of like, you can't really trust the meat. Worst mental health lately, your videos help the hours go by without thinking. Hey, well, that stinks. Glad you like the videos and welcome to stream. I was already heavily leaning no. I think I'm leaning a lot heavier no at this point. Why is chat being weird right now? I see your message pulled up above my head, but I didn't actually pull up in chat. Plus they might eat trap. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, with where they live, it really seems that way. Like, it really screams that to me. Yeah, I'm thinking no. I'm thinking we don't eat the dog that likely eats trash. Same with its evolution. Zigzagoon, so raccoon. I mean, raccoon meat is eaten sometimes, right? But again, it falls into that territory of trash animal. Zigzagoon. Okay, so it's actually... Oh yeah, so Zigzagoon isn't raccoon. It's based on the Japanese raccoon dog, or a tanuki. Raccoon dog, think kind of fox-like, right? If you don't know what they look like. Let's see if people eat raccoon dogs. Oh. Yes, traditionally eaten as delicacies in China. Including bamboo rats, porcupine, and badgers. NPR, raccoon dogs might have been linked to the pandemic. Is literally the second link to pull up when I search for, do people eat raccoon dogs? I'm thinking we don't eat the Zigzagoon. Don't eat it. Let it get you berries. That's a good point. Don't raccoons have the nickname Trash Panda for a reason? Yeah, but to be fair, this isn't a raccoon. It's just only raccoon dog. The name kind of is confusing there, right? Like, normally I would agree. That's what I thought at first. So it looks like it is a thing eaten in China. Let me look up... So it's the rich gamey and gamey. Thank you, Google AI overview. Compared to lamb, mutton, or dark meat chicken. So yeah, raccoon dogs do primarily just forage. Oh, okay. So it says that they still do scavenge for garbage, just like raccoons. Take a nibble. Hey, Borisu, welcome to stream. I'm really mixed. The fact that they are eaten somewhere, right, and like the flavor profile seems normal, but the fact that they do also tend to go through trash, and literally the second thing that pulls up when I search for, do people eat raccoon dogs, is linked to the COVID pandemic. I'm thinking no. I'm thinking we don't need the Zigzagoon. Linoon, I'm assuming is going to be the same deal. Is Linoon still just based on Tanuki? What is Linoon based on? Okay, so yeah, just straight up change here to badger, or a similar mustelid, such as a weasel or polecat. If he eats trash, it's a no. No, neither. Tainted meat. I mean, we did learn in that same article that badger is also considered a delicacy in China, right? Maybe Linoon would fit the bill here. Linoon weight. It's 72 pounds. Again, that's a meal right there. Just for comparison, that's about 1/4 of a deer. Okay, according to this doe, are generally like 110 to 180 pounds. 72 pounds, like, that's a big boy. Hey, Wilhelm, welcome to stream. I'd eat a Linoon before Zigzagoon. Maybe it's the lack of spikes. I also think it's the lack of trash eating, right? I want to consider considering Linoon evolves from Zigzagoon. That's a good point. But we don't really understand, like, what happens during evolution, right? How much of the original body really remains, right? Like, it is an evolution, so we have to assume technically all of it, but we see, like, entire parts get removed during evolution. I didn't even, like, factor that into any of my my arguments up until now that we're on Gen 3. I hate to say it, but I'm leaning towards yes. I'm leaning towards yes. I feel like it's just a very basic meat. I'm gonna say yes. Wurmple. 99% of the time we see bug, the answer is no. Chat got really upset with me that I said yes to Pinsir when we were doing Gen 1. I still stick to my guns that Pinsir could be worthwhile. But Wurmple, you know what? We'll give it a shot. We'll see if anybody has any arguments in chat while I look up its weight. 8 pounds. Also pretty heavy. In Pokemon universe terms, though, 8 pounds is really light. In our universe, it's a bit heavier for an animal that you'd want to eat, for a smaller animal. Why upset people eat bugs? No, not really. Brian, you would have to have seen my original argument. I don't want to rehash the entire thing now that we're all the way up to Gen 3. But yeah, Wurmple's gonna be a no. Silcoon, that's a heavy no. And then, of course, Butterfly, heavy no. Cascoon, again, that's just a very spiky no. And Dustox, no. Woodgie grubs are delicious. Yeah, I'm not really a bug person. But I eat rocks over here, so I'm not the best source. That's a good point. Alright, so Lotad. Let's see. Lotad is obviously, yes, lily pad and a kappa? A water-dwelling creature from Japanese folklore. So that's another yokai inspiration there. Yeah, very turtle, like Ninja Turtle looking little yokai. Again, I'm heavily leaning no. Like, we don't really have a whole lot of basis to go off of here. Lilypad and yokai. So, Lilypad and demon. Japanese demon. I feel like all poison types are no. Yeah, for the most part, that's gonna be the case. He comes with a plate, gotta be a yes. That's a good point, you know, he is kind of a utensil. I would eat each trio individually. You could use Lotad's Lilypad to wrap the meat like a seaweed for sushi. Frog, probably makes good soup. Based on Kappa, I want to eat a gold thingy, even if it's small. I like the arguments for the lily pad, almost like seaweed, right? Like the use case there. It's just not winning me over. We're doing a no eat. Lombre, man, we're seeing this over and over where when we say no to the base form, it's basically just the same throughout. Although we did do Linoon, right? Linoon did make the cut. Lombre is not going to. Now, Ludicolo. You definitely have a different basis here, right? Yeah, obviously mariachi inspired, but any animal inspirations? Just the yokai again. Obviously lily pads. Overall appearance has been described as a hybrid of a pineapple and a duck. I mean, I would say, yeah, it kind of resembles it. Are we assuming that's what its physiology actually is, though? Dancing, cheerful, festive music. Pokemon said to appear when it hears the singing of children on hiking outings. Ludicolo is the same, but now hairy. Would it just be a giant duck? So if mariachi, then maybe it's seasoned like Mexican food, and that would be delicious. I don't know if that's quite the case. Do you want to skin a yokai? I'm leaning no. Biggest reason why is like, yeah, it kind of resembles pineapple. There's too many things going on here with not enough actual basis that we could tie back to something in our reality. So yeah, that entire line's a no. Seedot, it's literally just the seed, right? It's supposed to be an acorn, correct? Or is it based on a different seed, maybe? Let's see. Yeah, just an acorn. That's what I figured. I don't think I'm eating an acorn. Unless somebody else has an opinion here. Acorns can be consumed whole, roasted, ground into flour for various baked goods like bread and pancakes, and used to make acorn oil. So it's a good ingredient. On r/ask food historian, someone asked why we don't eat acorns anymore. So that it's a pain to process and it just tastes bland. You have to cure them for a year, soak them in water, and then you get cardboard flavored porridge. In Korea, they still make acorn noodles, but not many cultures still use them now that other options are available. However, the Spanish feed acorns to pigs, and it makes some of the best pork in the world, so they still play a role in cuisine there. So even if you were to use it as an ingredient, it would be extremely bland, and you would have to wait a year to do anything with it. I would eat it if I was a rodent. Yeah, you can eat acorn. Yeah, and you can. It's just like not a common practice, evidently. I would eat it. I would eat it if it was cured for a year. It's edible at the very least. It also sucks in moisture, so it'll be juicy. I'm more so thinking of like the practical uses here, right? You could use it as an ingredient, like we saw. Acorn noodles, I guess, are a thing that people enjoy. So maybe acorn noodles are, you know, would be fine. I want to try acorn noodles now, so we're gonna say yes, and then I'm going to see if there's an option for finding acorn noodles anywhere around me. Okay. So this is actually one of my favorite Pokemon, definitely like top 10, 15. So saying yes is gonna hurt me here. It's based on the Tengu, a Japanese goblin. Yeah, obviously, Acorn and Pinocchio as well. But the first thing that I see pull up is Japanese goblin. You guys down for eating a goblin? That's what I was thinking, Psycho Panda, is that would be a good healthy option, right? Or you can change it for to a squirrel for a promise not to split the world in half. I understand the reference there. He'd probably taste like pineapple. Nuzleaf is just a kid, I'm sorry. That's a good point. You said it's in a restaurant, I'd be ready, so... Yeah, that's got my reasoning there. It's a no for me, dog. If the first acorn then would consume the line made of wood... Yeah, that's another good point. Not only is it based on a Japanese goblin, but it is also likely just made out of wood. We can... Let me see if I find any info on that. Is Nuzleaf made of wood? Also, I've heard it pronounced like Nuzzelf and Nuzleaf. Nuzleaf just looks and sounds correct to me. Anybody in chat call it Nuzzelf? Often theories that Nuzleaf is made of wood. But it's, yeah, grass Stark Pokemon, obviously. Wooden humanoid body. Based on a Pokedex entry. So yeah, this is definitely just made of wood. No. And then Shiftry is very much just made of wood. God, I love Shiftry. And luckily, I don't have to eat him. Who in the world calls it Nuzzelf? I've heard it in videos, man. That's the thing when it comes to Pokemon, right? What are we at? Like 1,025 Pokemon right now? Not including like Megas and all of that. Like, if you think that that you pronounce every Pokemon's name correctly, you're wrong. Like, I'd say there's probably a few people on this planet that can say that. Even the Pokemon company themselves don't know how to say half the names. They pronounce it differently from like episode to episode in the anime. Yeah, Nuzleaf, because he has a leaf. Exactly. Although to be fair, you'll have Pokemon names where like you have like the inspiration for what it is in the name, but that word isn't really pronounced, right? So you could make that argument. I just don't think it's pronounced that way. Looks like a monster from Jeepers Creepers. Taillow is just the bird, throw it in the stew. I was kind of thinking that. Taillow's a yes for me. The biggest question, again, we're going to go back to weight, right? It could be one of those things where you want to wait for it to evolve. 5.1 pounds. Again, real life, that's not bad. Pokemon World, that's like on the very bottom end of the weight scale. And make Shiftery into a chair. Oh, you can carve Shiftery into some spoons for your sand stew. Let's see here. Yes, for me, if people can eat other birds, and he's no exception. I'm thinking yes. Like, my answer is going to be yes here, but with the caveat that if I ran a farm and I had a Taillow farm, I would 100% wait for the evolution, right? But it's not like I wouldn't be willing as is. Normal birds are, yeah, mostly yes. Yeah, so we're eating Taillow. And then Swellow, yeah, let's go ahead and look at the weight difference here. Obviously, this is going to be a yes, but Swellow weight 44 pounds. So again, you go from 5 pounds to 44 if you can just wait a little bit. So yeah, kind of obvious choice there. Then we have Wingull. Definitely gonna be a no from me. Again, the whole idea of don't eat things that eat trash. Let me, just to confirm, yes, based specifically on the seagull. It doesn't look like any other inspirations. Do people eat seagulls? While people historically ate seagulls in some regions, it's uncommon now due to legal protections under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act in the US and similar laws in other countries. It's often described as having a fishy or gamey taste. Wild nature makes them difficult to raise or hunt safely. Yeah, I'm seeing like ancient cultures that eat them. In some parts of Europe, particularly England, gulls were sometimes caught, fattened on grain, and consumed in pies and other dishes. No offense to the UK, I don't take their culinary expertise with a lot of weight. Waterbird is no. Would not eat seagull, yeah. Do people eat pelicans in real life? I don't. Again, the general rule of thumb is if it exists, some culture has or does eat it. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Steve. They're sky rats. I need protection against the seagulls. They will steal your food and poop on your car. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Boris, too, is like, just because our ancestors ate it doesn't mean that it was a good thing to do. Yeah, I was gonna say no, and yeah, it's a no. So Pelipper, we are talking about an entirely different Pokemon here. Again, it is the evolution, but it looks like its only inspiration is pelican. Do people eat pelicans? I typed in east, not eat. Looks like mostly historically, not common today. Again, due to legal protections, strong fishy taste. So, that's actually interesting. Google's AI overview actually says the main reason we don't eat them anymore is because of legal protections, but secondarily is because of the fish taste. So, they're like, yeah, we're not allowed to do it anymore, but also you probably just don't want to. Which is kind of exactly what I was thinking. More beak, definitely not. I mean, you don't have to eat the beak. Let's be a little bit honest here. Yeah, it's mostly a beak and a tongue. No, again, we're gonna say no, but this guy has to have some weight on him. Yeah, 61.7 pounds. There's a bit more than just beak and tongue there. Well, like, this is gonna be, like, pretty, you know, like, hollow weight. Like, even the beak itself. Bird beaks are very light. So that 61 pounds is not coming from just the beak. But it doesn't have a lot of meat. It seems like it would be mostly beak. Would be hard to prepare. But at the same time, yeah, definitely not 60 pounds of mouth. It would taste like a chip. Okay, yeah, no. Okay, now again, we're talking very human. Is there even a point in looking up any info on this entire line? I'm going to. Yeah, what do you know? Ralts is based on the combination of a human child, fairy elements, and the idea of a guardian angel. So would you eat a human child or a guardian angel? If anyone says yes here, I think there's a problem. Bad timing for the tongue emoji there in chat. People who like fish. No, the thing is, I like fish. I don't want to eat other animals that taste like fish. I get a vibe that Ralts would taste like an onion. Guardian Angel probably taste heavenly. You know, Brian, that's a very strong argument that I'm not going to dig any deeper into. We're saying not eat. Obviously, same thing with Corellia. Same thing with Gardevoir. I don't know. What? Surskit is obviously going to be a lot larger than what it's based on. Yeah, just based on a water strider. I have a new mouse that started me insane. You see, water striders are like, they're insects, right? They're tiny, which does make sense. Surskit is a bug. As far as its weight, yeah, 4 pounds, so yeah, it's also tiny. I also like Surskit. I feel like it's a Pokemon I never really think about. Holy onion. I mess with my system with powers. You'd eat Gardevoir. I hate bugs, so no. I feel like Surskit's too tiny. Agreed. I also just, most bugs are going to be a heavy no for me. Yeah, so no to the Surskit. Masquerain, again, we'll look it up, but Gen 3 is getting us a lot of no's today. I actually have no idea what Masquerain's based on, like, at all. Moth and a cat. I can see the moth. Where does the cat for Masquerain come from? Name potentially derived from masquerade and rain, yeah. Yeah, again, like, its large fearful eye patterns on its antennae are inspired by a moth's protective eye spots. Also mimics a feline face to scare predators. Okay, so it's not based on a cat. The idea is that it mimics a cat's face using the patterns. So yeah, that was kind of misleading. Mostly wings, so no. The wings? Moths don't taste that good. You know what? I've actually been wondering. Like, to me, yes, eating moth is just a heavy no. But do people eat moths? What do you know? First word. Yes. Yes, people eat moths and their larvae in many cultures worldwide. Although it's often specific species that are consumed, such as the mopane worm in Africa, and the bogong moth in Australia. Maybe Nightfall can chime in on this one. Very specific moths. Moth will be very fuzzy. They do, but it's disgusting. I have to imagine, right? Little white parts are whiskers. You've had it before. Okay. Not like how small. The Seeker search history is going to be so messed up. Yeah, if I was a smarter man, I would be using like a private browser. I'm not. I am logged into the Junk Seeker account searching this stuff up. I feel like you might end up on some watch list. Yeah, it's kind of weird to eat. So Nightfall, you've also eaten moth. So we have 2 people in chat who have eaten moth before. One said that it's bad, one said that it's weird. flagged for risk of poaching. I'm gonna get on a list because they think I'm gonna poach some moths. Yeah, no, I'm not eating moth. All right, Shroomish. I mean, mushroom, right? Anything like more specific than that? Shroomish based on. Just a little reminder here. The goal is to do generations 3 and 4 today, but it depends on time. Some of these are taking me longer than I thought, but I don't want to speed up just because I'm on a time limit today. So if we only do generation 3 today, we only do generation 3. Let's see. Based on a mushroom, particularly a puffball mushroom or earth star. With its body resembling an unopened puffball or a general mushroom shape. Also draws inspiration from dinosaur eggs. Interesting. Do people eat mushroom? What was the exact mushroom? Obviously, people eat mushrooms. I can't remember what the name was. Puffball. Puffball mushrooms. Yes, most puffball mushrooms are edible only when they are young and have pure white, firm flesh throughout. I definitely want to say that it's pure white. There's a lot of green in there. When they mature, their interior turns yellow, brown, or purple, signaling the presence of spores, and they become inedible. It's crucial to cut them in half and check inside, as some poisonous mushrooms, like young death caps, can be mistaken for puffballs. Only to tell is why, yeah. This one's looking like it might not be quite edible. Puffballs are so good. I'm not a mushroom person at all. Like, literally at all. Let's get a mix of mushroom and sprout. Alright, so here's the argument in chat. So, in what I'm reading here, if puffball mushrooms are not pure white and firm, they can actually be toxic to eat. So would we consider Shroomish here in the Pokemon universe? Would we still say that it's probably edible? Or are we assuming that it is now considered inedible? I want to hear what Chet has to say. Yes, the mushroom likes stew. If there's a section where you go off topic, I'm interested to know what you think about the new Charizard card set. So I haven't looked into it enough yet, Brian. I am disappointed that I wasn't able to get a pre-order in for the ETBs, but I did get the UPC order in. I also think that it's really dumb of the Pokemon Company to here. Let's go full screen here. I think that it's dumb of the Pokemon Company to do a Charizard themed set in this era of insane scalping and nobody can get their hands on anything. I remember saying a while back that like Journey Together, where it kind of killed the hype a little bit because of its bad pull rate. I think that's what they need to do. I think collectors like me are okay with that. Yes, I'd like to have a better pull rate, but having a less hyped set, having a few underhyped sets, right, would kind of help fix the market. Instead, they're like, hey, you know the overhyped Pokemon that always causes these massive Pokemon breakouts? Let's do a set entirely based around him. Like, it's so dumb. I hate it. I think in any other era, it would have been fine. Like around Champion's Path era, it would have been a bad idea. And now, it's a bad idea. But that's just my opinion. They're really good. Only young Shroomish got it. How long can you stream for today? I still got a couple hours. I got about 3 hours in total. I'd eat Shroomish, not Breloom, Moldy Mushroom, high risk for low reward. Yeah. What if it's halfway cooked? Shroomish isn't poison type, so non-toxic. It could be toxic. I didn't think of that. It's probably toxic and edible. I'm gonna get back into collecting Pokemon cards. It's kind of a rough time to try and do it, but you still can. You just got to be patient and try to avoid paying scalpers. I agree with your opinions on the Charizard set. Very, very legal response there, Brian. I agree with your opinions on the Charizard set. But yeah, I haven't looked that much into it. I don't like to get spoilers, as little as possible when it comes to spoilers on a new set, until I've gotten my hands on it, right? Until I like to, like, the video actually went up today. I uploaded the video today of Pokemon Mega Evolution, and I went into it pretty blind. I only saw a few cards going into it. That's how I like to do it. I want to experience it for the first time as blind as possible. Then I'll look up spoilers, which I still haven't done yet. I just got that video filmed and edited and everything this last night. They should release 2 sets in a row with, yeah, exactly, Steve. Like, honestly, I'd still be down. Even for the least popular Pokemon, I like, right? Chartered set these days is so dumb. Shroomish can learn Poison Powder and Toxic, though. Yeah, but if we're going off of that, we'd be rolling out a lot of other things, too. Make him all wild set. Simius here and Clang. It does have the effect Spore. That's a good point. And it was the whole idea that if it has spores, it's not really consumable. Just noticed here, I love Ice Cube. Yeah, I don't wear this one that often. Usually, if I need like a blue beanie, I just instinctively go to the Lapras. I have all my Pokemon beanies in like a bag, and this was at the bottom of the bag. It's like a Christmas bag. Love your content. Glad to be able to catch you live for once. Hey, welcome to stream, Devin. So yeah, for me, 100% it's a mushroom, so it's going to not eat it regardless. I just wanted to see what the mushroom eaters thought. And a lot of you guys seem to agree that it would be considered like tainted at that point. So Breloom, I assume, is still just... God, my new mouse is driving me insane. Got a new mouse. I love it. It's a very expensive mouse that I got for free from a buddy of mine. It's one that I wanted for a long time. And it does this really funny thing where it just kind of like teleports across the screen, and I need to fix it. Breloom based on... so yes, also mushroom and a dinosaur like the... Yeah, that is way too long for me to try and pronounce. Possibly incorporating features like boxing kangaroo and traditional Asian hats. Again, I'm leaning no, heavily just, you know, mushroom. But like all mushroom Pokemons have the effect Spore. Decent point. But that one specifically said, like, puffball mushrooms don't eat if spores are present, right? Same with the mouse teleporting. Mine has an excuse. It's older than me. Mine's just kind of, I don't know what the issue is. And it is a hand-me-down, but a very expensive hand-me-down, and it was in good condition. Do dinosaurs taste like poultry? I'd say that depends on the dinosaur, right? But mushroom, I don't like eating dirt, sorry. Breloom has the effect Spore, so it might be tainted. You have to rely on Poison Heal or Technician. Gotta go. Hope to catch another stream soon. Hey, thanks for hanging out, Psycho Panda, and we'll see you next time. So Slakoth. Somebody eats sloth, right? Like somebody, some culture, somewhere. Slakoth. Why did I type in Slakoth? Why did I just type that in? Do people eat sloths? Shockingly, the answer is yes. Again. Some people eat sloths, but it's not a widespread practice. Sloths are eaten in a few indigenous South American tribes and were hunted by early humans. Again, who cares? May have contributed to the extinction of ground sloths. However, it is illegal in Brazil, and many tribes consider eating them taboo. So even in like indigenous tribes, a lot of them won't even do it. Interesting. I'm heavily leaning no. No, he's too innocent. The answer is 100%. Yeah, some ancient old people eating them. Ralts, on the other hand, if he eats 3 leaves a day, wouldn't it be very nutritious? That's a good point. Yeah, it does say it right there in the description. This Pokemon's sole daily meal consists of just 3 leaves. Sloth meat. Can't believe I'm looking this up. Is described as chewy, gamey, and sometimes slimy. Texture and flavor has been compared to pork. I feel like any meat for like an exotic animal is always described as pork. Some consider it a delicacy. Its consumption is rare globally. The taste is often a subject of strong personal reaction, with many finding one serving to be enough. Yeah, the flesh can have a slimy quality. That's immediately noping me out here, man. I don't eat Vigoroth. I feel like it'd have medicinal properties. Would make my ADHD even worse. Yeah, we're going no here. And Vigoroth, I mean, it's still just based on a sloth, right? Vigoroth based on sloth and a primate. Yeah, this the fast one here. Slacking, shocking. What button do you think I'm gonna press here? Vigoroth, okay. Slimy is gross. Yeah, Nincada. Does anyone have an argument? Like, it's another bug, a ground bug at that. Nincada. Let's see. Yeah, World Soccer, Cicada Nymph. I think even Cicada. I mean, cicadas have to be eaten somewhere, right? Yeah, some people eat cicadas. Cicadas are insects found in many parts of the world. They're considered a delicacy in some cultures. People do a lot of things with cicadas. They fry them, similar to shrimp. They grill them on skewers or in tacos. They boil them and then eat them with salt and pepper. And then they also make them into soup. I don't think I'm down for it. To be fair, all meat is slimy. Yeah. If it was a spider, maybe. All bugs are a no-go. Shedinja might be a good diet food. That's a good point. It's like eating a chip. Yeah, we're saying no here. Clearly, people do eat them. Oh, apparently it's very common to be allergic to cicadas. They have a nutty or shrimp-like flavor. That's very, like, opposite sides of the spectrum in my head. Good source of protein and nutrients. Yeah, like a lot of bugs, honestly. Because there are a lot of cicadas and they're free. That is true. Yeah, we're not eating Ninjask, and we're definitely not eating the husk that cicadas leave behind. I actually used to live at this house in, like, the middle of nowhere. Like, we were in the middle of the woods, like, deep in, like, high up on this hill, like, through the woods. And we had a deck where every year the cicada would use the underside of that deck to do their molting. And good God, it was like an infestation every year. No, I never considered eating the leftovers. Whismur. Whismur based on... yep, rabbit, a stuffed animal, and earmuffs. The eyes very much make me think stuffed animal, but is it made of stuffing? Like, or is it made of rabbit? If it's made of rabbit, I'm down. What is Whismur made of? What? Okay, this is Google's AI being dumb. And personification of sound. Any, like, threads on this? I'm not seeing any kind of answer here. Let's look up the weight. Maybe that'll give us a good answer. Whismur, like, weight and height stats. 35 pounds. And why? Okay, it didn't give me the height. So 35 pounds at 2 feet. That's kind of light for 2 feet, right? Or am I crazy? I'm not good with this stuff. Big ball of meat. Gotta go. Get to another stream soon. Thanks for hanging out, man. Yeah, no way stuffing weight. Yeah, I'm thinking the same. Seeker on TV, no seeker in the car. I'm guessing that you are currently on the road. Yeah, I'm thinking it's, you know, based on like a stuffed animal appearance, but it's still gonna be made of rabbit. And yeah, I'd eat a rabbit. We're eating the Whismur. Loudred. I mean, obviously based on the speakers. You guys ever want to just eat like your headphones? But aside from that, is it also still just rabbit? Incorporates elements of megaphone, electronic amplifiers. So it doesn't seem to have any animal inspiration at all. Just speakers. Huh. So would you guys eat some bows? Letter looks unsettling. I remember whenever I made that funny Loudred card. It was kind of poorly done. I was still learning a lot at that point in time, but I shrunk his mouth down to like a tiny little thing on in the middle of his body and just like filled all of it in with like purple. And I called it Loudred Tweeter mode. You look at this guy very differently when you see him with a more normal sized mouth. The eligibility drops off fast. Yeah, we're definitely not eating the Loudred. Exploud again, same thing. Also, does he have to be conscious to produce sound? You raise a really good question. Could you like wire something up to him? Just like turn him into a speaker in like your living room? Anyways, no Exploud. Makuhita. There are so many Gen 3 Pokemon that are just like a guy. Makuhita. Yeah, based on the sumo wrestler. I don't see any animal inspiration at all. So again, what do you guys eat? A plump person. Does the conscious make sound? Eat. All fat, no meat. Kind of looks like a dumpling. Actually, body fat is gross. I actually watched a thing today about how important it is to eat fat, though. Yeah, little historical fact here. There's a reason that like beavers were very big to hunt back in the day. Their bodies are like made like primarily of fat. So if you were like hunting big game and you're getting a bunch of protein, if you eat a lot of big game meat, like you eat a bunch of protein and you don't have any fats, your body can't actually break it down, and you actually starve to death. Sorry guys, you gotta eat some fatty foods too. Without it, you can't digest protein properly. There's a name for the disease. I can't remember what it is, but basically your stomach is full of protein that it can't do anything with. First time I saw Makuhita, I thought it was based on a dumpling. So yeah, we're not eating the sumo wrestler. Hariyama. We're not eating the bigger sumo wrestler. Azurill. Okay, now this one would just feel super wrong, but we gotta do our due diligence here. Azurill based on... let me check this real quick. Okay. Smarter to immediately pull up Azumarill, not Azurill. That is not the question I asked. Alright, let's just go straight to Bulbapedia. They always have a section. If you're ever curious in Bulbapedia, there's a section, I think it's near the bottom of every Pokemon's page. It's been a minute since I looked at it. I believe it's in the trivia. It's one of the only like Pokemon like wiki sites that actually gives info on what it's based on. Yeah, it's down in the origin section, really low on Bulbapedia. Azurill appears to be a mouse combined with a beach ball or possibly a personal flotation device. Storing nutrients in its tail may come from the mouse-like flat-tailed Dunnart? I don't know what that is. So the idea is that it stores nutrients in its tail. So maybe the tail's worthwhile? Azurill too small to even be a snack. Would cry if served as Azurill. Okay. But what if it was just the tail, right? It's just like a nutrient ball. I joke on the tail. Seems to be a mouse rabbit hybrid. Also seems to be very watery meat. Personal flotation device. Yeah, it'd probably be like a useful tool for a while. Look at its weight. Whenever I search for any info on Azumarill, it pulls up Azumarill. It goes straight to the evolution. Okay, so its weight is 4.4 pounds. It's not even a foot tall. It's 8 inches. So if we're considering that the nutrient ball could be something good for, like, well, see, Steve Bell, it would make sense that there would be like a lot of water stored there, but the idea is that it's full of like nutrients, right? So it's probably like a liquid nutrient drink inside of the tank. You're getting like a bolt house, like oh, what's the word? Like vitamin drink. The Azumarill tail. But it's 8 inches tall, and if we're assuming that that's with it sitting on the tail is less than half of that. I'm heavily leaning no here. Is this going off raw and alive or cooked and prepared? Depends on the mon, right? I assume most of the ones we're looking at, you be talking cooked. Maybe like sushi and stuff you wouldn't be. So yeah, I'm going no. If it was larger, it would be a yes. But it feels kind of like a waste. So yeah, we have nose pass. You guys want to eat some rock? It's magnetic rock, right? Yeah, nose pass is magnetic nose is always pointed north. You guys want to eat rock and magnet? Hard pass. Yeah, I guess in this case, Steve Bell, it would be a pretty rock hard pass. I eat rocks, give it to me. Yeah, Borosu claims all of the rock Pokemon, okay? Those are his. You can't have them. That's where my version of Gatorade comes from. That's a good point. I'd use the magnets to use magnet pull and be able to fly. Okay, yeah, no nose pass. Skitty. Again, we have to give things a shot when we can. I know people will destroy me if I end up saying yes to this, and don't get me wrong, I'm really leaning towards no. But, oh my god, it is 24 pounds. That's a lot bigger than a chicken. I see an immediate yes there. I miss Shuckle. I don't believe... Did we do Shuckle? I don't think we've done Shuckle. Skitty is very much a cat. It's just S kitty. Cat flower, sweet meat. I mean, I feel like I'd be lying if I said no. Because if the goal is to cut out ethics, ethics are the reason that I want to say no. Because it's just a cat. But it's also 24 pounds. It's 2 feet tall. That's a tall cat. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people, you know, right now in chat that are agreeing with me. Does it have a specific cat? Based on the combination of a house cat, that makes it worse. And foxtail grass, yeah. Also possibly a cat plushie. No other food source than yes. I feel like in Generation 3, they were trying to push the merch a lot harder. You're definitely seeing a lot of animals that were like, this could be easily turned into a plush. Gen 3, they were definitely like, oh man, we can really sell some more merch now. I'd eat Skitty over Minky. I mean, yeah, I would too. I believe Minky was a no from us, right? I hate to say it, this is gonna be a yes, as much as people are, you know, gonna hate me for it. Its tail is like cattail plant. I saw a video of someone trying to take a bite out of that. Yeah, that I've seen those videos. It's bad. Skitty is the most profitable plushie Pokemon ever. It wouldn't entirely surprise me, but I'd more expect like a starter or like a Pikachu. Yeah, we're getting the cat. Delcatty. This is probably going to be a yes, too. Let's be honest. It's just the same thing, but evolved. So now it's larger. 72 pounds. This thing is like a mountain lion. How much do mountain lions weigh? God, I am losing my ability to type. Okay, yeah, so females generally 80 to 120 pounds. This thing is just under the weight of a mountain lion. Don't eat the tail. I imagine their tails aren't just full of seeds like the plant. It's kept a bigger. Delcatty just turns purple and gets a neck pillow, but it also does kind of lose the tail there. I'd use the neck pillow. I enter streams just to listen, eat the cat. God awful timing. Welcome to stream, Echo. But Echo, we are going to use your name and we're going to echo something here, and we're going to eat this cat too. Okay, Sableye. It's a ghost. We kind of had this argument before of like, we don't know what ectoplasm tastes like. Maybe ectoplasm is fantastic. I don't want to be the first one to find out, right? Sableye have any specific inspirations? Sableye based on the creatures from the real-life Kelly Hopkins encounter of 1995 in Kentucky, often referred to as the Hopkins Goblins. So this is our second Goblin Pokemon that we have to debate on eating. In just Generation 3. I'm looking up the Hopkinsville Goblins, and I gotta say, they don't look that edible to me. They just kind of look like shadow aliens with bad ears. I can definitely see the resemblance to Sableye, though. I don't really see where the gems come from. I guess they are depicted as having, like, glowing eyes. So, I guess, like, reflective eyes in the gems kind of makes sense. I don't think there's anything organic to eat. You take the ghost, I'll take the rocks. Yeah, so like for profit, right? Like that would kind of make sense, but not really like consumption. They're not rocks, they're just minerals. Do people eat goblins? Luckily that one doesn't have to go on my search history. Minerals are just pretty rocks. Sableye would taste like used linen. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not gonna be the guy to figure out like what I'm losing my words now. What ectoplasm tastes like and the effects on the human body. So no. Mawile. You know, I knew what Mawile is based on, and now it is blanking. Yeah, okay, so it was another yokai. With a second mouth on the back of its head. Mawile's cute, deceiving appearance and large, formidable jaws that emerge from the back of its head are direct inspirations from the... I have no idea how to pronounce that. Which uses its second mouth to devour food, often as a form of punishment or to satisfy an unending hunger. So again, we're talking based on a yokai again, which is bad for us because it doesn't tell us any animalistic inspiration, right? All we really know is yokai. What I will say is that the yokai it's based on is just a person with a hideous demon mouth on the back of her head. So that's heavily leaning me towards no. Oh, actually, okay, if you guys go on Google and type like Mawile based on, the first image that pulls up, that is like direct inspiration for the mega form. That's kind of wild. Anyways, I'm really thinking no. One of those gems are actually rock candy. Mole just a kid if you cut off the mole. Venus flytrap, a kid in very fancy pants. Yeah, this is like a pretty heavy no for me. I thought I was unplug my headphones. My headphones are too short with how far away my computer is, so I have to use this like little extender right here, which is way too long, and so it just kind of sits on my lap. Grill them all. Yeah, I mean, it's basically just a person slash demon. We're going no. This Pokemon has a body of steel. All right, Borisu. Now, Borisu, it's not a rock, okay? This isn't a rock, but it is kind of a mineral, right? It's hard. It'd probably break your teeth, just like the rocks that you were talking about. Are you gonna claim? Are you gonna claim Aeron 2? Yeah, he's going straight for him. What part of it's steel though? And it says a body of steel. It literally feeds on iron ore. I think the entirety of it is just made out of iron, right? Iron and steel. Versus steel type is steel rock. Regarding tomorrow, while which part of it is steel? Oh, okay. Don't know. I didn't even remember the fact that it was steel type, I'll be honest. Aaron's a no-go, just steel and rock. Put a little bit of paprika on it and it's perfect. Yeah, not quite for me, buddy. Lyron, same thing. It's steel body. No. Aggron. Oh, it's also gonna say steel in the description. Okay, it doesn't say it again, but obviously it's the same thing. Metatite. So fighting a psychic, we're probably just looking at another person here. Let's see if it has any specific inspirations. Metatite based on yoga practitioners. Drawing inspiration from monks who train in mountains to heighten their spiritual and physical powers through rigorous concentration. So you can either eat a yoga coach or a monk. That's kind of the only two inspirations we have here for this little garlic-headed looking guy. Yeah, garlic head, exactly. I think a feast over here with all those rocks. Yeah, maybe the tongue of Aeron, Lyron, and Aggron could be nice grilled. Onion soup. I mean, it very much screams garlic shape to me, which is something I always thought, right? Also, for some reason, Kid Me always thought there was like some kind of like either like rock or steel typing here. I assumed the head was like a solid material. I have a feeling that's not quite the case. Steel exterior, could have softer interior like an oyster. And the previous evolutions, right? They were saying like entirely made of steel, so I mean, organs aside, I already eat a lot of metal. Yeah, I'm thinking we go no here. Metacham, I mean, we're talking the exact same thing, just like larger and more enlightened. No. Electrike. Okay, so we're talking another dog again. But what specifically? Combination of the maned wolf or a maned wolf pup due to its appearance and name, and the Raiju, a Japanese mythological lightning creature often depicted as a blue wolf wrapped in lightning. So it's just the wolf. I'd probably be down. Maybe the tongues of Aeron, Lyron, and Aggron could be nice grilled. Still, let's see. Electrike, is a dog, but spiky. Electrike has a lot of electrolytes. I remember that joke was made in the last one, too. That's a no for that dog. I mean, it's just the wolf, right? Like, I don't... It seems like it'd be pretty basic consumption here. 34 pounds. It's a little bit smaller, but it's still pretty large. Also, I do like that it's based on a creature who's described as being blue, and its shiny is blue. That's, but it still has like the yellow stripe here. Obviously I don't have the shiny sprite to show you here, but that's actually pretty fitting. I like when they do that with shinies. They kind of make it match what they're based on better. Ancient people did eat in wolves, so don't worry. Yeah, I'm thinking it's fine for electric. I also think it'd probably be like a pretty healthy meat, in all honesty, with that electric typing. Like there has to be something going on there. So Manectric, it's probably gonna be the same thing. It doesn't have any kind of like steel typing or anything. Ancient, like say, its legs are probably still kick after prepared. This guy looks real angular. I'll say that. It looks like it's a lot of useless fur there, despite the fact that it's 89 pounds. I'm assuming the inspiration is still the same, though. Yeah, also just based on the Raiju, Lightning Beast in Japanese folklore. Yeah, Blue Wolf wrapped in lightning, which they kind of hit the nail on the head there. Can like form and association electricity against storms. The design features a snout that resembles a crocodile clip. Oh, a common component in electrical circuits. Where is it? Oh, a crocodile. Who calls them It's an alligator clip. What? Who calls them crocodile clips? I'm sorry. Like, I thought I was a tech for 10 years of my life, and I never heard of someone calling them a crocodile clip. It's an alligator clip. What do you mean? I hate that. But I actually never really noticed that. Yeah, it does kind of look like an alligator clip. Eat it, bro. It's looking at you funny. Alligator clip, probably Australians. I have never heard crocodile clip. I've heard some weird terms, right? Like a number of the companies I had to work with were not based in the US, and I've heard some different terms before. Never heard that one. But yeah, it's just a bigger electric dog. We're going for it. Plusle, we are probably talking way too small on these two. Are there any inspirations aside from plus and minus? Doesn't look like it. No, it's just the cheering Pokemon. Plus and minus. Let's see. Oh, that's actually a lot heavier than I thought it would be. It is 9.3 pounds at a foot tall. Never noticed Metrix earhole before. Plusle is a bunny. All right. E. Thanks. Thanks for joining in. Hopefully, we'll see you next time. Feel free to join in the Discord. You can get notifications for whenever I go live. Depends on weight here. Yeah, I mean it's 9.3 pounds, but isn't it considered like a rodent, right? Because it's this generation's like Pikachu. Plusle a rodent. Yeah, it's described as a rodent-like Pokemon with mice, chipmunks, and rabbits. I would definitely say more rabbit. Mouse-like body, long rabbit-like ears, mouse stance. So it'd be somewhere between a mouse, chipmunk, and rabbit. I'm really stuck. I'm leaning heavily towards no, mostly based on the sizing, but it is still almost 10 pounds. Like, again, we're talking heavier than most, like, chicken, right? At least based on my Google search. Yeah, yes, but need to cook with Minin to balance. That is a fantastic argument. it wouldn't be properly balanced if you don't have your positive and negative charge. That Steve, you won me over, buddy. We're eating and we're eating minimum with it. All right, mostly because I really gotta blow my nose. I will be right back. So give me like 1 to 2 minutes. I apologize. Okay, I have returned. Music back down and back to this. All right, so we are on to Volbeat. Again, most bugs are going to be a heavy no, but we'll look into it. Volbeat. Okay, it brought up the band Volbeat. Pokemon. This is Firefly, right? Yeah, Firefly. And 1950s greaser culture. Never really got that from Volbeat, I'll be honest with you. But I suppose, sure. No. Illuminoise, obviously, same thing. Roselia, what do you guys eat a rose? Are roses used in any kind of, like, food at all? Are roses... yes, people eat roses, specifically rose petals, buds, and hips, which are safe to consume and offer a mild floral flavor and nutrients like vitamin C and antioxidants. So maybe as like an additive. I've never considered just eating a rose. It could be cooked on cake. Can you make jam out of roses? Probably. I don't know. Rose-flavored teas, that's a good point. I did not even think about that. Eevee in space. Let's see here. Yes, wild rose petal jam. So that is a thing. You can make jam out of roses. It actually looks pretty good, I won't lie. Just like looking at some images here. It actually looks pretty good. I question how good it would taste. But man, I found like this whole thing on like this is a massive write-up with images on feastingathome.com on how to make it, like all the way from like growing it yourself to like that was a wild scroll through. To be fair, you can make jam and honey out of most. Yeah, it's true. Let's look up like what does rose jam taste like? Obviously roses. Sweet, lightly floral taste that can have subtle notes of fruitiness, a delicate tartness, and even a hint of bitterness. It's a very light flavor, as I expected. Anybody have like? I want to see like testimony. So once that dandelion jelly is apparently really good. That one sounds a bit less appealing to me. Let's see. Some people are saying that it's too perfumey for them. You know, I'm interested though. It has my interest, so it's gonna get the eat for me. What are people saying? Out of something you can make wine. You have to boil or ferment the heck out of the poison point ability. That's a good point. Dandelion wine is very good. I have not had it to my knowledge. Yeah, it has my interest. We'll put it in eat. Gulpin. It literally eats anything. Yeah, literally right there. This Pokemon's stomach contains a special fluid that digests anything. Again, the whole idea of not wanting to eat things that eat trash. Gulpin based on a combination of a stomach and a slug. Yeah, I gotta agree with Steve there. Not really willing to hear out too many arguments on this one. Elements of gallbladder, poison gland, or blobfish also contributing to its design and characteristics. Looks like mochi. To be fair, I'm not a big mochi person. Gulpin is a toxic mystery ball. Yeah, it is just straight poison type 2. Yeah, heavy no from me. Obviously Swalot, it's just a bigger toxic pile. Carvana. Okay, so obviously based on a piranha. Do people eat piranha? I definitely spelled that wrong. Shocker, yes, people eat piranha, especially in South America, where it's a common food source and sometimes a delicacy. Piranha is known for its firm, flavorful white meat and is used in dishes like soups, fried dishes, and grilled preparations. However, they contain very small, sharp bones that require careful handling and preparation. Again, I am a pretty big seafood person. A common way to consume piranha is making a strong, flavorful soup or broth, which helps manage these small bones. Frying is a popular method, though it requires care. Also steaming. It's considered like an authentic way to experience cuisine in the Amazon, like if you're visiting. Going like a haggis situation. I'm heavily leaning yes. I'd be super down to try, right? To try a Carvana. So it's going in eat. Sharpedo, it's literally just shark. I actually haven't had shark to my knowledge. I probably have. Again, my parents ran that seafood place for a couple years. Sharpedo. Hey, Obsidian, thank you very much for the 5 gift memberships. And I know exactly why you're doing that. And it did not hit the person you were aiming for. Obsidian, I am gonna thank you very much. I am gonna say like I was planning on resolving that issue So I'll look into it. But everyone who just gained a membership thanks to Obsidian, make sure to check out the members only videos that I post every week. Bloopy Harami, Della Blaze, Mez, I'm not sure how to say that, Chance D, and Evie in space. I will keep trying. I'm wondering if there's a regional reason as to why it's not working, Obsidian. I'm not sure. But also, welcome to stream. What an entrance. But man, you did that last stream too. You got to stop spending your money on these gift members. It's weird saying gift members until you use the Twitch lingo of gift subs, because subs on YouTube are just subscribing. But yeah, I guess welcome to 5 new members. So Sharpedo is 196 pounds. That's a lot of shark. And let's see. Consumption is controversial due to health risks, conservation concerns, and animal cruelty. Considered a delicacy and often marketed under different names. Let's see. So yeah, in the US, it's mostly like Thresher, Black Tip, and Mako. Yeah, I'm down for the shark, man. I didn't get to blow money on Mega Evolution. This is way cheaper. That's fair. I didn't even try to go out. I won't lie. Like, I even knew about the giveaway for Crydon Maridon. I knew with him releasing a set on the same day, it wasn't gonna work out. I didn't even try. Plus I had too much to do. I've entered my gift membership from last time. All right. So yeah, we're eating that shark. Whalmer, obviously based on a whale. Anything specific? A spherical whale, correct. Baleen whale? Let's look up that specific whale. Maybe there's something there. Baleen whale meat is consumed in certain cultures, such as in Japan, Norway, Iceland, and by indigenous communities and the Arctic, where it is considered a traditional food. The meat is high-protein, low-calorie food that is prepared in various ways, including fresh, salted, and dried. However, many baleen whale species are endangered, and the international laws protect them, with legal whaling only permitted in specific locations under strict quotas. So you can still legally eat them today, just like not a common thing. Big ball of fish meat. Is Whale mostly air like Whale Lord? That was my next question. So Whalmer weight. It might have a lot of air in it. But it's still 286 pounds. So even without the air, there's still a lot of meat there. Yeah, I don't know who would say no here. Obviously for real life, like conservation, don't eat whale. But we're talking Pokemon universe. These guys are everywhere. We're gonna eat a Whalmer. Obviously, Whale Lord. Let's look up its weight. Whale Lord weight. Yeah, 877 pounds. That's not just feeding your family. That's feeding your county. God, my phone going off was loud there. The way it was like angled on the desk. I mean, 877 pounds, like that's a lot of meat right there. Whale Lord is lighter than air. At 877 pounds though. Let's see here. Because of its density, right? Yeah. Density of air is 1.225 kilograms per meter squared. Whereas it is 0.97 kilograms per meter squared. So yeah, it can basically inhale and just like float up, I suppose. The density of air is lower at higher altitudes. So its density is, right? There's still a lot to eat there. It does float on random light, yeah. Or is it this Pokemon Go thing? No, I'm pretty sure it's in the main games too. My nose is bothering me. I apologize. But yes, we are eating the whale. Most of the fish Pokemon float on land. Magikarp. Let's see. Nummel's obviously a camel, but is there anything more specific there? Yes, a Drotamary camel? I am not good at pronouncing these names. Let's see. Drotamary camels are edible and is a staple in many arid regions, prioritized for its low-fat, low cholesterol, high iron content. In this case, it would be pretty spicy iron. Similar to beef. Traditionally consumed in the Middle East and North Africa. Feral camels in Australia also provide a unique source of camel meat for export in domestic markets. The closest I've had is jerky, like the cheap crap you can buy in a store. Normal weight. 52.9 pounds, a little bit on the lighter end for a camel, I'd imagine. It's part blimp. Magikarp doesn't. That's funnier that way. Yeah. I've never seen camel for sale here. It might be like specific areas. I don't know. It's a hardy Pokemon that can transport 220-pound loads, so might have some more protein in there than we had originally thought. Kangaroo, yes. Camel feels like an illegal thing to eat. It definitely doesn't seem like it. And I am down to try me some spicy Nummel. Obviously, Camerupt should be the same thing, right? Maybe a different camel. Camerupt is, yeah, it is a different camel, a Bactrian camel. I'm not good at pronouncing these names. Let's see. Consumed in various parts of the world, though less commonly than Drotamary meat. Ethnic food in some arid regions, providing a source of high moisture, protein-rich, and nutrient-dense meat. Low in fat and cholesterol compared to other red meats. Compared to beef. Has a bunch of vitamins, amino acids. So it'd probably be healthy for you, including the fact that we're talking fire type here, right? Obviously the volcanoes in its back are gonna be a little bit less consumable. Just don't eat the rocks on the back. Yeah. Yeah, ignoring the rocks on the back, just kind of dig them out. You're good to go. That means that Camerupt is officially, out of 324 Pokemon, our 100th consumption. I'd say probably about what I expected when I first went into this whole dumb project, is that it would be, a bit under, a good amount under half, about a third. Yeah, kind of what I expected. Torkoal, again, we kind of discussed not really being big on turtle. Any other inspirations here? Based on a tortoise and coal burning ovens or steam locomotives. Self-cooked turtle soup. Torkoal is a slow-boiled turtle soup, worth a try. I'm just not that big on turtle. Turtle soup has a flavor texture profile similar to beef, veal, or chicken, though it can also carry a slight earthiness. I imagine this one would more so. browniness, or even a mild fatty fishiness, depending on the species and preparation. I imagine where this tortoise is very fire type, the fishiness probably would not be present. As far as actual meat here, I mean, obviously everything inside of that shell in the upper half is like magma, maybe not that consumable, but the rest of them. Turtles are friends, not food. Turtle soup still sounds bizarre to me. It does to me too. I've I've never really had an interest. You know what? We'll give this one turtle a shot. We'll add to the list. Spoink. I mean, it is just a pig, and it really doesn't take much to take one of these things out. Just kind of hold it down. Spoink. Let's see here. Resembles a piglet with a spring for a tail. So yeah, literally just pig. I like me some pork. I'm thinking we're gonna go for this Spoink. We should probably look at the weight, right? Probably a good idea. Spoink based on what? Not based on. Why do they? Spoink weight. 68 pounds. Far heavier than I thought it would be. It's 2'4" as well. Isn't it a toy? No, it's pig. You take the Spoink, I take the pearl. Also, dang, it can never sleep. Yeah. But is the marble edible? I have my doubts. What is the thing on top of Spoink's head? What is on top of Spoink's head? Okay, I typed in Spoink correctly. It auto-corrected it to Sphinx. A pink pearl. Oh, it says that it's actually important to the Spoink as well. The pearl that Spoink carries is one that is produced by clam pearl. I did not know that. So Spoink's pearls come straight from clam pearl. Huh. That's actually really interesting. As Spoink loses its pearl, it is weakened. It will compulsively steal any round object to place on its head until it can find a new pearl. The pearl amplifies Spoink's psychokinetic abilities. This is why Spoink is constantly in search of a bigger pearl, as a larger pearl means more power. I feel like this is something that a lot of the Pokemon community probably knows, and I just had no clue. Huh. So it literally hunts clam pearl for larger pearls to improve its power. I never had really much interest in Spoink. I'm wanting to look more into this guy now. Let's see. But how does it sleep if its heart stops if it's bouncing? I think the whole thing is that it doesn't, or it might sleep while it's bouncing. It's probably stressed because it can't sleep. Meat of stressed animals is tough. That's a good point. Okay, so Evian Space and Obsidian Panther did not know that fact. Maybe I'm not alone. I've heard a lot of Pokemon fun facts, but never this one. That's one thing I'm enjoying about this series. I'm learning more about a lot of these Pokemon than I thought I would. Can't believe you're not an expert on Spoink Pearl lore. There are a lot of people who, I get it, I run a Pokemon channel, especially now, right? Or recently I've gone to full-time. I do have people that like kind of get upset at me for not knowing certain like Pokemon facts and yada yada. Man, I just enjoy the franchise. Like, I'm not sitting here studying all these lore videos every day. I do research and look into things, but I'm thinking we eat the Spoink. I mean, you got, what was the weight there again? Yeah, it's 68 pounds of pig, and then you have a pearl that, you know, you could sell off. That is a really interesting fact, though. But we're eating the pig. Grumpig uses the black pearls on its body to amplify psychic power. See, where does Grumpig get its pearls from, right? Is it just born with them? Does it transform the clam pearl into the ones on its head and belly there? I have also learned a lot from this series, too. To amplify psychic powers, like control over its foe. Oh, when this Pokemon uses its special power, its snorting breath grows labored. Kind of sad. Grumpig, based on what a shocker, it's going to be a pig. Specifically a grumpy pig. It really doesn't seem that grumpy to me. But more importantly, Grumpig, weight 158 pounds. That's a pretty good sized pig. Yeah, I mean, it's just pork, man. Like, it's psychic pork, right? You might have some really, really weird dreams after eating it. Maybe Spoink needs to rob 2 more clam pearls to evolve. That is an interesting concept, right? That Spoink is looking for a bigger pearl. I think there are some Pokemon they could definitely do some more interesting things with. And I think that that would be one of them, right? If you could actually, like, farm clam pearl, and using, like, what's it called? The thief ability, to steal the pearls, or just knock them out to get the pearls. And then you could use it to actually, like, power up your Spoink, and then, like, more importantly, its evolution would be a bigger improvement if you had a larger sized pearl, right? Its stat boost going to Grumpig would be even greater. Or maybe if you have a pearl over a certain size, it gets a certain move that it otherwise can't. Like, I don't know. I think that'd be, like, you know, a neat concept that they could do, but there's a lot of Pokemon that they could do extra with that they don't. I forgot I still had some coffee left. Might as well finish it. At least when it evolves, it doesn't need to bounce anymore. That's a good point. We're eating them. Spidna. Ooh. I mean, just a bear? S-P-I-N... A combination of red panda and rabbit. Okay. Again, rabbit is bringing me in. Rabbit's bringing me in. It's 11 pounds, so it's a bit on the light end. Oh, it's 3'7" and it's 11 pounds? That can't be right. Let me get a Volpedia. Height. Yeah, it is 3'7" and 11 pounds. 3'7". We'll just use human as a comparison. That weighs 11 pounds. Would be what density? Let's see. We're gonna use Google's AI mode for this. I mean, we don't know the volume, but if we just, like, based on, like, an average person, right? Based on an average human volume at 3'7". Like, how light is this guy? We're just going off of human, right? Maybe a little bit wider than a regular human. Yeah, it's not one. It's not willing to guess the volume for us. Yeah, I was just curious to see if it would also end up being lighter than air. Let's see. Consume Spidna. I forgot what we were doing. It was so funny to hear. Anyways, we'll eat him. Do all 4 billion Spidna patterns count as a different taste? Perhaps. Is that the XY credits theme? Maybe? I can find out, maybe? Oh, wait. Timestamp 151. Someone had a timestamp for this somewhere. I don't know. Perhaps. I had timestamps, but I'm not finding them now. Yeah, not rocks. That's for yeah, Borisu. I'm leaning towards yes. Oh yeah, I need to close that tab. But only 11 pounds is a little just off to me. Let's look up, because it's based on red panda and rabbits, right? Okay. It is not wanting to give me any answers now. Red pandas are eaten by snow leopards. That's all I can find. Makes red pandas able to taste. Okay. Not really seeing a whole lot of answers here. It is, like I said before, XY is tied for my favorite games in the series. Man, I've been wanting to play it again. I've been considering wiping my XY save and doing another playthrough. Maybe I should do that soon. I'm just gonna lean yes. We're gonna lean into the rabbit aspect. I feel like it's just very light. Trapinch. Trapinch based on antlion. Specifically, Trapinch's design behavior is inspired by the larval stage of the antlion. I'm guessing this is just another bug. Oh, right. Think dragonfly almost. But you know, that's the like Vibrava into Flygon form, right? This is its earliest stage, and it looks like a disgusting bug, like you would expect. Trapinch. Wait. 33 pounds. Okay, there's something here, right? It's based on a bug, but it's not a bug type, but it still just screams bug to me. You can back up the save with certain programs that are totally okay by Nintendo. I don't have my my DS modded at all. I regret googling that. Trapinch looks like a hard rock puppy. It does look very bug-like to me, and it is based on a bug. I'm leaning no again. 33 pounds. There is definitely something to that, right? You crack open that shell, the jaw meat and all that could be very like crab or lobster like perhaps. But I just don't think there's enough there. We have any arguments in chat? Not hard rock puppy. I meant candies. Rocks are getting in my brain. Man, I really don't know. I really don't know on this one. I would pass. It's made of ground. I think it's more so that it exists in the ground and, like, you know, has an easier time on ground, right? It's mostly the bug that it's based on is really throwing me off. Again, I'm not saying all bug types are a no-go. I am saying if we're going to eat anything from this line, it's going to be the Trapinch. I'm leaning yes. I'm leaning there's probably something good in there. Possibly. I think it's more of a, I wish there was a middle option for I'd be curious, but if I'm curious enough, we're gonna throw it and eat. Vibrava, no. Like, this gets way too bug. It does get some dragon to it. But, as much as people in the first stream of this were really excited about eating dragons, I think I'm gonna have to pass on the Vibrava. Now, Flygon is one of my favorites, and we're gonna have to look into it. Now, we already know what it's based on is effectively a dragonfly, which does not really have my attention at all. Flygon is also, like, easily in my top 5 Pokemon. But it is 181 pounds, and while it is based on a bug, it itself is not a bug, it is a dragon. Along with ground. If you want to eat dragons, just hunt down a Dragonite. Flygon is too cute to eat. I mean, again, we're trying to cut out morals here. I would agree, it's one of my favorites. but I'm thinking I'm willing to try Flygon. There isn't much to the wings there, right? Like, we change our style here. Its wings are very thin, which is a very common trend we see in Pokemon, is a lot of flying creatures really don't have a whole lot to their wings in their depictions. I feel like it's a bit thicker than a lot of the wings that we tend to see, though. But I feel like the belly, the legs, the tail, there's something there. I'm thinking if we want to consume Dragon, I'm thinking that Flygon is a good option, so we're gonna go for it. Okay, I've never had any interest in eating cactus. Cacnea, is there a specific cactus that it's based on? A barrel cactus. Copy. Barrel cactus. Edible. Yes, parts of the barrel... Oh, God, it really does not look appealing, though. Parts of barrel cactus are edible, with the fruit and seeds being the most common culinary parts. The fruit can be eaten fresh or cooked, as it has a tart, lemony flavor, while the black seeds can be dried, toasted, and ground to add protein and texture to baked goods. Other parts, like the flower buds, which I guess it does have on its head there, right? I assume that's kind of what you would consider the little crown thing to be. And inner flesh are also edible, with some Native American groups using this part for candy, tea, and even a resource when lost in the desert. Interesting. It's really funny that the legendaries for the second best-selling game had under 120k codes in the US distributed. Yep. It was a little disappointing. Like I said, I didn't even bother trying. I was like, hold on. They're doing a distribution that you have to go to GameStop for on the same day that they're doing a new set release. Like, there's not going to be anything there. And what do you know? I think it was like, God, it was high up on trending on Twitter. Like, it was like high up in the trending things was GameStop. Specifically because people were complaining that they were all immediately taken by scalpers. And people were reselling them online for like 40 bucks or whatever. Super disappointing. But I called it. I was like, I'm not going out today. I confirmed with my LGS that they weren't going to have anything left. And I was like, okay, not going out. Cactus can be good. You can eat cactuses, but I wouldn't recommend. Sounds delicious. That's a yes from me. I mean, like the lemony flavor, like all, you know, so many parts of it can be used. You know, make it into candy, into tea, good for protein, adding texture to baked goods. Cactus fruit is better than flesh. Internal acupuncture. To be fair, the little spikes aren't that big. Oh yeah, Obsidian, that's a huge thing. What's funny is back in the day, I actually did buy Pokemon codes. It's not even a joke. Years ago, like Sun and Moon era. Like Sun and Moon era, I did farm a couple codes from GameStop, okay? But I would do resets of the game because you couldn't do multiple in one save. So I would do resets of the game to get multiple of these Pokemon. And you could buy codes on eBay for literally like $2 or $3, right? Like it was like $1 to $2 to $3. And you look for a deal, someone is like, hey, here are 5 codes for like $5, right? I'd buy it and I'd do like 5 resets. I think it was Makuhita that I did that for, and there was another one. Like, I was okay with people reselling them back then because it wasn't as crazy as it is now. And it was like, you could just go to GameStop and get it, right? GameStops weren't just like selling out of these things. They weren't disappearing. It was just like a way of getting another one, or if there wasn't a GameStop in your area. And I had no issue with that marketplace, but selling them for $40, like for a free code, I hate it. I'm gonna pick on Monday Hope. Obsidian, if you were willing to do that, I think I would definitely owe you. I think that if they printed them on recipes, IRL distribution, on receipts, IRL distribution would be, yeah, 100%. That'd be great. People sell shinies on eBay, so it's not, yeah, it's fair. I think I bought a code once for a Japan exclusive. That's actually awesome. Yeah, I agree, Steve. They should just do it in game at this point. Maybe I should try to go out today and get it. Alright, so back to the stream at hand here. Cacnea, wait. It's 113 pounds. I mean, we're talking about all of the uses that you can get out of this cactus, and it's 113 pounds. This thing's going a long way. Hell yeah, we're eating him. Now, Cacturn. Whoops, I am forgetting how to type again. Cacturn based on... Is it a different cactus? Sagirio? I don't know how to pronounce that. Cactus and a scarecrow. You know, I never actually got scarecrow from Cacturn. At all. So once again, it's saying yes for this cactus being edible. But it's saying that it's the fruit. Ruby-colored fruit, which ripens in midsummer. Jam, syrups, and wine. Seeds in the fruit. It is a protected species. Thing is, I don't see any fruit on this guy. Like, there's no like red polyps sticking out of this cacturn here. I made them the same way as Treasures of Ruins. Not a bad idea. Cacturn's beta design art is spooky. I mean, we can look at the other depictions here. Maybe we'll see a depiction that actually has some fruit, but I'm thinking, yeah, we're definitely going with a no here on Cacturn. During the day, you eat Cacturn. During the night, Cacturn eats you. All right, that's a no. Swablu. So Swan, correct? Maybe. Swablu based on combination of bluebird, such as a blue jay or an ultramarine lorikeet, and cotton or clouds. I'm guessing there's not even really a whole lot to here to even consider. Yeah, it weighs 3 pounds. If you're gonna do this, you're gonna do it as an Altaria, right? Which is 45 pounds. Never saying Swablu. It's your favorite boy from Gen 3, really? I've always said that, and not that Swablu is like a bad choice, and you know I think there are definitely worse choices, but it certainly isn't a bad choice. But I've always said that for every Pokemon out there, there's someone who considers it their favorite. I've never considered Swablu to be like the peak of Gen 3 for somebody. Nothing but air. You eat neither of them, not only because they're too cute for that, but they're just bleh. Yeah, they're 3 pounds, and you gotta, like, nothing there in the wings, right? And yeah, Altaria makes a lot more sense to me. I'm allergic to the concept of eating small burbs. I feel like small birds are one of the creatures that I'm more okay with when they're still small. Oh, bluebirds, yeah! Yeah, we are actually not eating you. Altaria, it is 45 pounds. Altaria, based on... no Altaria, makes no sense as well. The moment I saw Swablu, I knew it was going in my team. Based on the mythical Chinese bird, the PENG. Massive fluffy bird with cloud-like wings. The design is incorporated. So we don't have a lot to go off of here. It's not really based on any actual creature. Honestly, what it's based on is looking a bit more like Swablu to me. But yeah, this is gonna be a pass for me. You don't have any like any grounding in reality as to what it could be. Cotton candy wings, can't eat PNG. Yeah, we're passing. Zangoose. All right, so we have our Survivor competitor here. Is it just a mongoose? Yeah, it looks like it's just a mongoose. Goose. I was a huge Zangoose fan as a kid, by the way. Like, back during Gen 3, Zangoose was, like, one of my, like, peak for me. I still like Zangoose. Zangoose is cool. I don't think I'd put him quite up there anymore. But like, it's one of the few Pokemon that went from like peak for me as a child to like far less. I'd still give it like an A rank, right? So it is 89 pounds. Let's look up. Not a widespread practice to eat mongoose, and it's controversial. In certain communities, mongoose meat is considered a delicacy, but its strong, musky odor, especially from the scent glands, can be unpleasant and requires careful butchering. Additionally, there's a health risk, as mongooses carry pathogens like, I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that, that can be transmitted to humans through contact with contaminated soil or consumption of the meat. It sounds like it wouldn't be very healthy. Zangoose is a spicy rabbit. Wow, that's actually a fantastic emo comparison there, Eevee Space. Zangoose is very 2000s cool. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the like a red version of like the blue like water cups. Yeah, I'm thinking we're leaning no. I definitely think that there is, you know, a decent amount here. But the idea of it being pretty toxic to eat if not done right, and you can easily get diseases from it. The only place I'm seeing that eats it is described as the Hadza people. So yeah, heavily leaning no on the mongoose. Would have been great in rocket power. It's Gen 3 Shadow the Hedgehog. Yeah, honestly, and you know what? I like Shadow the Hedgehog as a kid too. I played the Sonic the Hedgehog game on the original Xbox. Shadow the Hedgehog. Do I even still have it? I don't think I still own that. My OG Xbox games are literally like head level for me right here. Yeah, I don't have that anymore. I loved Shadow the Hedgehog on the original Xbox, man. It's widely seen as like a bad Sonic game today. I'm not that big of a Sonic kid though. Yeah, we're gonna go no. Seviper, again, we've talked so many times, I'm just not big on eating snake. I've never been interested in eating snake. Is it based on something specific? I'm willing to hear out arguments in chat, especially if we can see that it's based on something that maybe people do actually eat. Yeah, just a viper, particularly the Habu snake, Habu. So they are venomous. Their meat is sometimes eaten, though it's not a common food. So many words I'm just not understanding here. It's used to make a certain dish. Oh no, it's used to make a liquor. That's interesting. Infused with the snake's body. Okay. Venom is contained in the head and fangs. Prepared correctly, the meat is safe to eat, and the venom is not a concern. Again, it could be different when it comes to Pokemon, but I mean, does Swiper have? I'm guessing Swiper has poison in the tail as well. Yeah. I mean, you have poison in the fangs, which are red. The tail, you also have that red. I'm assuming it has poison in the fangs and the tail. The snake it's based on, the poison is isolated to the fangs and the head itself. There's also in the tail. We can assume that there's some kind of poison track, right? Connecting between the two. I'm heavily leaning no. Even more so. Your favorite thing, my favorite right now. Won't eat, will drink. I'd be willing to try, you know, a viper infused liquor. Yeah, I'm thinking a heavy no here though. Like, just the idea of that, like, you know, the actual snake, obviously it only needs the venom to be in the mouth, but it's produced in the head, and if we're assuming poison goes to the tail, let's see what we can find on that. Is a viper's tail venomous? Nope, Viper, not, let's see. So Viper can secrete a brutal poison from its blade-like tail. So yeah, we can assume that it almost has like a poison track through its entire body. So yeah, nope, easy pass. Lunatone. Alright, Borisu, you are up again. Not only do you get to eat rock this time, you get to eat Psychic Rock. Anybody else interested in eating the moon? I can look up what it's based on, but I feel like it's really not necessary on this one. The moon is made of cheese, Eevee, in space, and you are in space. You would have a better understanding here of what the moon is made out of. We can look up its weight, you know. Lunatone. Wait. 370 pounds, and that is in only 3'3". So it's a very dense rock, you know. Borisu will be happy. I'm good. Solrock, while we're at it, what's the weight difference here? Solrock is actually lighter than Lunatone. Lunatone's 370 pounds. Solrock is 340. At 3'11". So it's actually, what is that? 8 pounds? Oh, it's 8 inches taller. Solrock is 8 inches taller than Lunatone, but weighs 30 pounds less. So it's actually a much less dense rock here. All right, no Solrock, sorry. Barboach, definitely an eel, I have to assume, right? Is it eel? Is it eel or just long fish? Barboach based on a loach, okay. I'm guessing this is going to be a yes. If I could spell. Ooh, what does loach even look like? Ooh, looks real slimy to me. Oh man, this is a picture of someone who's boiling a bunch of them, just whole. Yeah, I'm really not super inclined on this one. Edible considered a food fish, especially in East and Southeast Asia. Some are popular as aquarium fish. Consumed in countries like China and Japan. Loaches eaten are usually farmed, not wild caught, making them a relatively healthy option. Generally cooked with ginger, bamboo shoot, soy, onions, tomatoes. There we go. They have a firm texture that is not flaky like other fish. They also absorb the flavors of the ingredients they are cooked with, rather than having a strong fishy taste. You're bringing me back on the idea here. The fact that they don't really have much of a fish taste, and they just greatly absorb the flavor of whatever you put them in. I mean, theoretically, we could add some barboach to our sand stew, and it would just taste like, you know, sand shrew stew. I'm leaning towards yes on the barboach. I was a maybe yes to a heavy no, back to a yes again. We're adding this loach to the sand stew. Wishcash. What specifically? Wishcash based on a giant mythical fish from, yeah, it's kind of had a feeling. Japanese folklore that causes earthquakes. No other animal inspiration here, which usually just means a firm no, because we don't have an actual animal to base things off of. This is screaming heavy no to me. It does look like a catfish, which is a really good point. I'm worse at writing than I usually am. It's not a catfish. It doesn't seem like it. Let me look up Wishcash based on catfish. Wow. I didn't cat fight Like 100%. Which catfish is based on a giant? So it's a giant catfish from Japanese mythology. Okay, so what it's based on is a giant catfish. So it's not just a mythical fish. Okay, that gives you a that makes things a lot more clear. Wish cash. Wait. 52 pounds. Actually a bit lighter than I thought. Is Wish cash smaller? Yeah, 2'11". I always imagined it was being a bit of a bigger boy. Yeah, I think it's just a catfish, right? A pretty plump catfish. Yeah, he's going in the list. Corefish, I mean... Yes. Let's get confirmation here. Yeah, just a crayfish. I mean, 100%. What's the weight here? God. Yeah, 25 pounds. That's a pretty big boy, too. Crawfish is so good, too. Eat the crab. Yeah, man, I haven't had crawfish in so long. Like, in so long. And if you're still watching the stream, we need to go out to eat. We need to find somewhere that does crawfish. Yeah, I'm thinking this is a very easy... This isn't only just like an easy answer for me. This is like a... Right now, because I am actually very hungry. The idea of eating this corefish is like top tier for me. Yeah, we're added into the list. Crawdon, I mean, it's just larger. It's just more meat. You got bigger claws. Like, how could we not? Yes, you are going to the eat pile, number 111. Baltoy, what are you based on, buddy? Baltoy based on an ancient Japanese, yeah, clay figure. So likely made of clay. It is also a ground. Is Baltoy made of clay? Yes, Baltoy is made of clay. Yeah, its species name is literally the clay doll Pokemon. Is clay safe to eat? I mean, probably. Can you eat clay? I don't eat ceramics. You could, though. In most cases, you should not eat clay because of contamination with heavy metals, bacteria, and parasites. However, intentional practice of eating certain earth substances known as geophagy is common in some cultures and is usually a response for nutritional deficiencies. So the answer is you could probably eat Baltoy. I'm not going to. I will wine and crawfish this year anytime. For clarification, that's my wife in chat. It's just a step up from eating Play-Doh. That's true. As a person who makes stuff with clay, don't. You can, but don't. But hold on. I wanna clarify something real quick. As a person who makes stuff with clay, don't. You can, but don't. Says the person who has said yes to everything that is made out of rock. If it's made of rock, the more dense the rock is, the more excited you seem to get. But clay is where you draw the line. Wild to me. Anyways, yeah, no, I'm not going to. Clay doll, I mean, I wonder if it's made out of clay. Yeah, no eat. Lileap. Lileap based on... Also, I'm gonna change the stream title real quick. I've never done that live on YouTube before, so hopefully it doesn't mess anything up. Me live changing the title. We're definitely not gonna have time to do Gen 4, so I'm removing that from the title. Doesn't look like it broke anything. There's a dish in Moroccan where they cook chicken and clay. Really? Clay is expensive. If I would eat it, I'd go broke. So Lileap is based on... It doesn't even look edible at all. Marine animals also called sea lilies. What extinct? Again, we've heard a thing. We've heard a thing before, an argument that why would you want to eat a resurrected fossil? The way I look at it is they kind of got a refresh, right? It might have been a fossil for a few thousand years, but it's not anymore. At the same time, there's nothing about this looks appealing to me. Even what it's based on. This Lileap's just a good no from me. Cradilly, exact same thing to me. Anorith, more than likely gonna be a no. Let's just go straight into the weight of this guy. Okay, 27 pounds. More than I thought. I thought it was gonna be, like, really tiny. Yeah, based on an ancient extinct arthropod. Could have a bit of fish quality like to it. I'm heavily going no here. What are you guys thinking, chat? You take it out and don't eat the clay. Oh yeah, I assumed. Air dry clay is a cheap meal. Rocks are free, and a chunk of nice clay costs like a nice meal, and I still need to make a figurine. Clay is the only upper class. Ancient lobster. You know, you kind of sold me with just those two words. Like, it'd probably be very different from what we consider lobster to be, right? But I mean, it is just ancient lobster. It's bugged, though. I mean, they can throw whatever typing on there they want. What it's based on, I guess what it's based on is also a bug. But it's like a tiny arthropod, right? Like, what it's based on anyways. It is 27 pounds here. Future art uni if I eat clay. Or they'd say you're dedicated to your art, right? You know, if your art professor is like, hey, you're so dedicated you even eat your work. Like, don't forget, some of the most famous artists have done some very bizarre things. Yeah, we're gonna eat them. Ancient lobster. So Armaldo, I assume is very much, we're looking at like a similar basis here. But he did kind of grow legs now. Okay, similar basis here. Basically the same basis, just now with legs and a lot larger. Let's take weight into account. 150 pounds. Internalizing your craft internally. I eat paint, though, that counts for something. Not intentionally, but you know. Oh, something I wanted to start doing every so often during my streams. I keep forgetting to do it. We're 2.5 hours in and I'm just now mentioning it. If you've been watching the stream for a while, consider doing a refresh once in a while. Any buffering or anything, it'll fix that and you'll get caught back up. I don't run ads on my streams, so you don't have to worry about an ad, you know, ruining it whenever you refresh. Anyways, it is 150 pounds. It's probably very similar. I feel like this is the kind of thing, though, you kind of have to, like, shred up a little bit more. But I'm down. Probably also kind of lobster-like. Feebass. I mean, probably, like, the worst thing to try and eat. Combination of a largemouth bass. But, I mean, it doesn't look like it has much weight at all. Like, largemouth bass, sure. It looks like less edible than a Magikarp. Feebass. Wait. 16 pounds? There's something there. Official Pokemon website. What do you say? Height is 2 feet, 16 pounds, a little bit on the lighter end, which is kind of what I was thinking. Let's see what it says. Mini Predator, looking up actual information like in lore. Many predators don't even bother trying to seek them out due to their unappetizing appearance, which implies that they are preyed upon at times. So they're not eaten because by predators because they don't look edible, but they are? So we're implying that Feebas are in the Pokemon lore. There is something there worth eating. But I don't think I'm looking at like some threads and stuff. But I mean, I think there might be a bit more going on here than Magikarp. Like, it looks unappealing, but it is fine to eat. Well, fair. They look not like taste. They probably taste good, so that's why they look ugly. That's a good point. My largemouth bass don't really look all that appealing till you fry them up. Ugly looking food are usually the best. Good point. Yeah, we're gonna eat the Feebas. Now, Milotic is where things gonna change a little bit. Milotic. This is not a straight one-to-one change here. Based on the oarfish. Let's look up an oarfish. Oh yeah, oarfish are massive. Let's see. They are not considered edible. Their meat is described as gelatinous, of poor quality, and not palatable to humans. While they're sometimes caught for sport, they are not fished commercially due to their unappetizing flesh and deep water habitat. Huh. So Milotic sounds like it's just straight up off the menu. And hey, the weight kind of matches. Height is 20 feet. Did not know that, but it really matches the oarfish. And it's almost 360 pounds. Jelly meat sounds like a challenge. Yeah. I'm thinking like this is a hard pass, even though, you know, you got 20 feet of fish snake, here to go off of. I'm thinking this is a pretty easy pass for me. Cast form. Buddy, what are you made of? Traditional Japanese handmade charm. Okay. Oh, it's like little ghosts. Like, you know, like little ghosts you make for like Halloween decorations, effectively. That's what they look like to me. H2O Cloud. Jelly meat gives me PTSD with the dish we have in Ukraine. It's made of hopes and dreams. Well, the hopes and dreams taste good. You know what, I'm not even gonna dig any further. We're not gonna eat this cast form. Kecleon, I know. If we look it up, it's gonna say some culture eats chameleon. I know. I'm not eating chameleon. I'm just not. Literally water, stay hydrated. Yeah, no Kecleon. Shuppet, we're talking another ghost. I think we're getting a lot of easy passes in a row here. Iguana is good. Is it based on Iguana? Is Kecleon... Did I get that mixed up? No, it's based on the chameleon. Yeah, field chameleon. Why not chameleon? I'm good. We can look it up, but I'm not going to eat it. Chameleon... edible. They are not... No, actual chameleons are not a common or advisable food source. They are primarily insectivores and carry salmonella, posing a health risk. There is, however, a plant called the chameleon plant. Okay. So, no, it is not advisable to eat chameleon, but you can eat a plant that has chameleon in the name, if that counts. Thank you, Google AI overview. Good God. Shopping based on... yeah, also based on a doll. In this case, it's just a pure ghost type. There's not really a whole lot you can do there. Yeah. Sorry, Shuppet. Banette, I'm sorry, it's just another ghost doll. Duskull. Can pass through any wall, no matter how thick it may be. So again, I don't even think that there's anything here to eat with these, like, pure ghosts. Like, unless you want to munch on that likely made of bone, like, mask there. No. Dusknor. No. Tropius. Okay. This is one that people kept mentioning in the first stream. Like, what about Tropius? What about Tropius? Yeah, it has bananas. Like, why would you not? Why would you not? Don't think you have to apologize to a Pokemon that you're not going to eat. That's a good point. Unless it wanted to be eaten. Like, why would you not eat the bananas? Unless you're, like, allergic to bananas? I like bananas. This Pokemon loves fruit and it eats it constantly. Apparently, its love for fruit resulted in its own outgrowth of fruit. So does Tropius eat its own bananas? Does it eat its own bananas? How often does Tropius grow its fruit? Twice a year. Ooh, only twice a year? And it only grows 3 bananas in every depiction. So, like, if you wanted to just, like, have some bananas, you're getting 6 bananas a year. I mean, the answer is still yes, right? You don't even have to, like, you don't have to put it down. You can just eat the bananas. The rest of it's basically tree. Like, why would you want to? Yeah, Tropius is a flying type, which I never fully grasped. It does have wing, like, leaves, I suppose. Infinite food glitch. Probably needs a little ton of food to participate in it. Yeah. Probably depends, if growing the bananas takes more energy than it gains by eating the bananas. Yeah. I mean, I'd still eat the bananas, though. But, like, it kind of squashed my dreams of having a Tropius and just, like, I always have bananas if I need them. Yeah, 6 a year, so. Yeah, still, it's going on the eat list. Chimecho. No. Easy. Okay, my boy. Oh, God. It wouldn't be fair if I didn't look things up for it. Yeah, it's based on the Japanese kabote and the Chinese baizi. I don't know how to pronounce that. Again, we don't really have, like, a firm, like, animal-like reference for my favorite Pokemon here. People tend to say, like, dog. People tend to say cat. But it doesn't... that's just, like, based on, like, looks, right? The only real actual comparison is that the Baize is sometimes described as a dog-like beast with a human face. Like, it very much takes, like, dog and cat features. Just need to catch a lot more Tropius for more bananas. That's a good point. Don't eat demons. But yeah, no. Like, a lot of people say, like, I see more arguments for a cat than dog when it comes to Absol. I really don't care. It's not based on either. So either way, the answer is no. Why not? What even are you? Why not based on... its existence is based on a combination of factors. Sure. Does it not have... Okay, it's based on a doll. I'm leaning heavy no here. I'm trying to see how much more we have to go here. Because it's getting closer to when I need to end stream. We're on why not. Oh man, we still have a good amount to go. Alright, we're gonna have to start making more on-the-fly decisions, and why not's definitely a no. Snorunt is probably also gonna be a no. Childlike snow spirit from Japanese folklore. What if demons taste good? Now are the consequences? I thought one is a puppy. It's based on a doll. This is also like a spirit. Aside from that, you could go like snowman, or in this case, snow woman, as the spirit is. That's a no from me. Clayley. It's probably also just gonna be another spirit. It's also just like a pure ice type. Like, I'm guessing there's not really anything here to eat. Based on an ice hockey mask or an Oni. No. Okay, it's Safil. At this point, we're just looking up its size. 87 pounds in that little guy? Really? 2'7", 87 pounds. Seal meat is a traditional and nutritious food in Arctic communities and other parts of the world, eaten raw, boiled, dried, or fermented. I don't see a reason not to say yes. He really has a walnut. So much blubber. That's true, but like from what I understand, a seal is like a pretty common thing to eat in some areas, and it's not considered like as normal of like an outstretched thing. You can feed a family of 5 with that. Organizing to go code card hunting. Good luck with that, man. Mostly blubber. I'll be back soon. Leave stream open. I was actually about to say, pretty good timing. We're gonna eat the seal. Obviously we're gonna go for Celio as well. Okay, we're going to a walrus. That's interesting. You guys can debate on eating the walrus specifically. I'll be back in like just a minute. Whoops, I forgot to turn up the music that time. Anyways, we're gonna think about Walrein. Mostly blubber. I like Walrein. I can't eat my baby boy. What do you eat with a rock? Well, no, that's complicated. Let's look. Walrus edible. Walrus is edible and traditionally eaten by Alaskan natives, but it must be cooked thoroughly to avoid parasitic infections. With health officials warning against consuming overcooked or raw, undercooked or raw. Overcooked. That would be a little scary. If you overcooked it, it'd be bad. It could kill you, or if you undercook it. No, it's just undercooked. A shellfish-like taste that can be prepared through methods like braising or simmering. So very similar to the shellfish. Some traditional practices involve fermentation, or cooking, which carries inherent risks. I'd be down for the risks, right? If we're assuming that, you know, a well-seasoned chef here was preparing your Walrein, I'm down. Clam pearl. I mean, we can give the pearls to Spoink. Power up our Spoink real quick. Aside from that, it's obviously just based on, it's based on the giant clam or oyster. Both of which a lot of people are really not into. I like meals that don't have a death or death roll. Clam eat. Okay, so yeah, Steve's with me. A lot of y'all are not into clam and oyster. I have to be in the right mood, right? Like, I'm not just gonna eat it because it's presented to me. But a lot of the time, I'm down for clam or oyster. That's gonna be a pretty easy eat for me. Huntail. What exactly are you based on, buddy? Huntail based on deep sea creatures or fish. Okay, so very similar to Melotic, also based on the oarfish, but it's also a gulper eel, which I'm guessing is more likely eel. Let's see. That didn't really give me the answer I was looking for. Are garple? Ooh, they are not considered edible. So just like the oarfish, extreme depths, inaccessible for fishing. That doesn't mean that it's not edible, though, right? You can't really fish them easily. Doesn't mean that you can't eat them. Let's see. The few specimens that are known to science are caught inadvertently in deep-sea fishing nets. Very little information is known about their reproductive habits, and most knowledge comes from these rare net catches. Their diet consists of deep-sea invertebrates like squid and other small creatures, not necessarily fish that are commonly eaten by humans. None of that says that you can't, it just says that it's hard to do, because that they're hard to catch and there aren't many options, but that doesn't mean that you can't. Still doesn't mean that I want to, though. No eat. I'm certainly here for American recipes right now. How many milliliters in one cup? Good question. Gorbis. So this was the thing that like sucks blood out of people, right? Gorbis based on long-nosed chimera. Chimera, a deep-sea fish that draws inspiration from the snipe eel, pipefish, and once again the oarfish. Let's look up that first inspiration there. They are edible and sold as food in some areas. Their liver oil once provided a useful lubricant for guns and fine instruments. I'm probably saying it wrong, but chimeras are thought to have emerged in the aftermath of the Devian extinctions that entered some 360 million years ago. So, very long-running thing. Not a common food source. It's considered a novelty seafood, but there's nothing dangerous about it. I'm leaning towards yes. Let's see. Quality is described as similar to Groper or Sea Bass. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm down. I'm down. Relincanth. This is probably the one I was really thinking of earlier, of just like not really having much meat on it. Let's look at its weight. 51 pounds. Okay. It's based on the Colincanth. I don't know how to begin to pronounce that. They are not considered edible. Their oily flesh can cause sickness due to high levels of wax esters and other compounds. While historically known to be eaten, particularly when dried and salted by islanders in the Comoros, I don't know how to say that, the species is now critically endangered, and eating them is strongly discouraged and harmful. It's a rock. Oh, I forgot it is rock type, right? Yeah, that's an easy no. Even if there is, like, flesh here, it's probably not a good idea with the health risks there. Love Disc, that's probably also just, you know what, I'm just gonna call it way too small to even consider. Bagon. I mean, do we eat the bagel? Is he based on a bagel? Bagon, based on a small dinosaur. I'm really leaning no on the entire Salamence line here. Like, I'm really leaning no on the Salamence line. Anybody have any arguments? Lotus probably could pan fried. And they're showing it as based on, like, a old dinosaur aside from just dragon base. I'm guessing it's pretty dense, right? Bagon weight, 93 pounds. I'm just thinking there's not enough there still, even at 93 pounds. I'd probably go a bit higher in the evolution chain. Now, Sheldon, definitely not, unless you guys think that there's something inside that would make it a good option. I'm very much leaning no here on this very dense boy. Shelgon based on yeah, pupa or cocoon. Walnut too. No, I'm going no there too. Now, Salamence is where things do get a bit more interesting. Salamence, obviously based on a dragon. The classic European dragon and the mythical salamander. Dragon-like form and fire-breathing abilities. Similarities to amphibians. Such as the external gills on its head. And the Devilman... what? The Devilman manga character, which may have influenced its color and wing shape. Interesting. I can actually see that. Like, very much. Huh. Yeah, you guys ought to look that one up. Devilman, manga character, and Salamence. Like, very similar. So I guess it has a bit of human inspiration there, too. I mean, the only real inspirations are dragon. Again, not really anything good to compare it to. What's the weight? I just imagine that it's a very tough meat. 226 pounds. Honestly, lighter than I thought it would be. 4'11". He's a short little guy. Can you Google if people call if people eat Devilman? Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to say no to our entire Salamence line there. Build 'em. Yeah, magnet again. We're talking rock, metal, magnet. Not really rock, just metal. Nothing here is gonna be edible. Matang, same story. Metagross, same story. Alright, we are finally on to the legendaries, and we are on to probably Borisu's favorite answer here. You're eating the whole Beldum Evo line. Yeah, I'm sure you're also very much down for the Regirock. Here, let's go ahead and figure out how much rock you got to eat here. Regirock, weight 507 pounds. Big boy, and 5'7". So what is that? That's about that's around like average height for an American woman, right? But it's 507 pounds. That's a dense boy. If you eat a regular Gannard's type and the Regirock too, yeah, I knew you'd have to be pretty heavy. That's a bit heavier than I had expected. Either way, we're not eating Regirock. Now, Regice. Regice's body was made during an ice age. The deep frozen body can't be melted even by fire. So it's eternal ice, is what you're saying. You're saying it can't be melted. So, ideally, you could turn it into ice cubes that you never have to, like, take up room in your freezer. It's not going to melt in your drink. Whiskey on the rocks, Regice. Regice could make for a mean mixed drink. Put it in a drink, it will never melt. I'm going to throw it and eat, but we have to understand you're not actually eating it whatsoever. It exists to cool down your drink. Like, if it doesn't melt, then no part of it is actually being consumed, right? And also, if it doesn't melt, does that mean that your stomach acid couldn't do anything with it? I actually don't understand how that one would work, but we're going to throw it and eat. It's more of a utensil, right, than it is a food. But yeah, we're doing that. Registeel. Body that's harder than any kind of metal. I think Boris might have met his match here. Its body is apparently hollow. Does that mean it's a bit of a lighter weight then? Registeel, wait, I'm curious. 452 pounds, so it is lighter than Regirock, right? Regirock was like 500 something. So despite being a much more dense material, because it's hollow, it does weigh less. Despite being taller as well, it's 6'3". It's my height. So me and Registeel, same height. We can see eye to eyes. Put me in a drink and never melt. Jawbreaker, literally. I'm really having a feast over here. Yeah, nothing here to really eat. Latias. Again, we're talking dragon, but it's just based on like a jet, right? Like Latios based on yeah, jet planes and possibly some birds. It also has a some birds though. Might also draw inspiration from concept of aeons and potentially the idea of yin and yang. Inspired by the concept of human consciousness and dreams, or even Japanese mythical sea spirits. I'm really not thinking jet planes have on-flight meals. That's a good point. That's a good point. My doctor said I have to stop eating jets. Again, we have to assume, like, it's not like a rock type, it's not a steel type. We gotta assume that there's flesh here, right? We have to assume that there's flesh here. In which case, there's probably something to eat. What's their weight? The biggest issue is that we don't have any concept of what. They're also a bit lighter. Oh, there's a stark difference there. Latios is 132 pounds, while Latias is 88 pounds. There's a big difference in both height and weight. Latios, yeah, it's 88 pounds and 4 feet. Latios is 6 feet, 6'7", and 132 pounds. So 5'4", 4'7" and 6'7", and 88 and 132 pounds. I did not know there was like like a stark difference between the two. Am I the only one just now learning this? I get vibes that taste like chicken. It's kind of what I was leaning towards, man. All I'm saying is it's a legendary dragon. Dang gender norms. It's a dragon, and you know what? This could go either way. You could put it in either eat or don't eat, and I would perfectly understand. I'm gonna throw it in eat just out of the curiosity, obviously, with both of them. Kyogre, okay, so once again, we're talking whale. And supposedly a lot of whale tastes pretty good, and Kyogre is a pretty good, pretty big boy. Kyogre weight, 776 pounds. 14 feet, 9 inches. Kyogre's a big boy. Again, does it have any inspiration aside from just whale? Oh, it's okay. So it's the orca specifically. Okay. Hebrew sea monster, the Leviathan. Is in orcas. While orca meat isn't common or traditional food in most parts of the world, it can be edible and has been consumed historically in some contemporary cultures. However, hunting orcas for food is illegal. Yeah, we're not worried about legality here. Orcas can accumulate high levels of toxins, particularly mercury, in their tissues, which can make consuming their meat unsafe. Oof. Yeah, high levels of mercury in their meat. So unlike other whale species, it's one of the few that are considered not really consumable. I think eating legendaries will also be illegal. Perhaps, we don't know. All right, there's no lore saying that. I'm so curious about your targeted ads after this. I am too, honestly. Thank God for I don't even know if I can talk about that on YouTube, so I'm just not going to. Yeah, no to Kyogre. Groudon, I mean, is there even meat here? Groudon is based on the mythical behemoth, which from Hebrew legends. Are we back? No, wait. Chat has been disconnected. Are we back? I'm still not seeing chat. It's looking like it might be back. Are we here? It's saying that it reconnected. Okay, there we go. Chat connected. There we go. All right. Well, that was unfortunate. Right towards the end of stream. Sorry about that. Oh, it's still disconnected on OBS. That's unfortunate. Legendary because they were hunted for foods. Imagine the whole region trusts you with the protector and you eat it with all in one sitting. This is what happens if you eat Kroger. All right. Sorry about that. Internet cut out, I suppose. Whenever my internet cuts out, it's... Oh, wait, hold on. I just realized I still don't have the... Oh, wrong screen. I still don't have the stream pulled up. My bad. So anyways, sorry about that. So according to this, Groudon doesn't actually have any meat. It is the manifestation of the land itself, forged from the Earth's core and magma. It is not a biological creature in the traditional sense or other mythical being that battles Kyogre and can cause land masses to expand and magma to erupt. Long story short, you're not eating this boy. Okay, Rayquaza. I think somebody mentioned in the last stream of this that they were interested in eating Rayquaza. Yeah, based on Eastern dragon, Japanese mythology, often winglets and serpentine. No actual animal basis here. Rayquaza have meat. let's see here. His body is sustained by consuming meteoroids. The materials make up its body are non-biological and allow it to survive in the ozone layer and beyond. And inside its body, Rayquaza has a special organ that converts its energy from meteoroids into power it needs to Mega Evolve. So probably also not. Space Snake Mystery Dragon meat. Which probably tastes like pork like every other mystery meat. That's fair. I wonder if you get radiation poisoning from eating something that lives in the ozone. That's a very good point. That's why Fangame I'm working on has a cookbook. The Dex doesn't answer these questions. I am interested, Steve Bell. Like I already played a fan game that had a cookbook. That was the last like 3 streams that we did. But yeah, I'm thinking we say no to the space dragon. See, the legendaries are always hard. I mean, legendaries, mythicals. In my opinion, mythicals are a subset of legendaries, so calling them legendary is still correct. Jirachi, based on the Japanese Tanabata festival and the myth of wishing on a shooting star. Again, it's probably also gonna be like it consumes space dust. Like, there's probably also nothing here. Not that I really want to eat a Jirachi. Jirachi is a literal baby. Yeah. I'm not saying I was leaning yes, okay. We gotta give pretty much everything their fair shot. 2.4 pounds. Yeah, goodbye, Jirachi. Deoxys. Now, surely Deoxys is made of meat. It's DNA. It's just made of DNA. Right? I wish Jirachi tastes amazing. Yeah, you can wish on Jirachi to have it be made of meat and to taste good. Let's look it up. Like, surely it would just... What do you mean? The mythical Pokemon composed of pure DNA cells, which resulted from a mutation of an alien virus after exposure to a laser beam. That sounds like fan stuff. I don't know. The laser beam part. Deoxys originated from an extraterrestrial space virus that arrived on Earth via meteor. Yeah. 95% pure DNA with a crystal core on its chest acting as a brain. Composed of a gelatinous material with no discernible organs aside from its crystal core. It also has no need to eat. Essential amino acids, yeah. Noodle arms Deoxys would taste like pork too. You know what? I'm thinking like health benefits, right? Probably want it to taste good. Probably want it to taste good. In small quantities, like you blend them up, you turn them into some pills. Probably good health benefits there. I'm leaning yes on Deoxys just because of the fact that it's like pure DNA, right? Which could also cause a problem. You know, maybe that DNA isn't good for you. I definitely wouldn't want to be the person who found out. Deoxys, the vitamins of the Pokemon world. Like, I would not want to be the first person to consume a Deoxys vitamin. But I think it should be studied. We're going to throw it and eat. And with that, we are at the end of Generation 3. So in total, so far, for Generations 1, 2, and 3, I wish I could separate the totals here, but I can't. We have chosen to eat 262 Pokemon. That is more than the largest generation we have chosen not to eat. But 124 we have chosen to eat, so still less than just Generation 1. So I was really thinking if we were going to do this, it would be like, we would either be looking at like, you know, like half, like 50-50, or as far as like 1/3. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now, is less being eaten than I was originally thinking when I had this idea forever ago. Well, change your DNA if you eat it. It might. Everyone has run out of code cards. Yeah, it's an atrocious situation, man. Like, Pokemon Company just doesn't care anymore. Yeah, I guess Gen 4 is gonna be up next. Of course, as always, if you guys are not in the Discord, there's a link down below. What I stream is almost always decided by a poll. Sometimes I decide not to do a poll and I stream, decide myself, but that's very rare. If you're a YouTube member, if I have a lot of ideas for streams, you get the first vote and you get to cut things down to just 3 options. Then that goes into the public vote for everyone else to decide between those 3 what I stream. So if you want to see Generation 4 of PokeConsume next week, then make sure to vote for it. Eventually it will happen. My goal is to do every generation, but as for when I do it is going to be determined by the votes. I think in total from Generation 3, we did see a lot more Pokemon that I think were easy no's. And a lot more ambiguous than we saw from generations like 1 and 2. A lot of Gen 1 and 2 Pokemon seem to be a lot more based on specific animals than we saw in Gen 3. I know you'll always talk about, like, things, creativity was so much better in this generation than this one, and yada yada. I think it's just a different focus, right? I never really paid that deep of attention to it. But I think doing this kind of showed me that there are some bigger differences between the focus for these gens that I normally think about. So I'm curious if we're going to have any generations that have a much higher consume rate here. But that's going to require some math because I can't really separate the numbers. But anyways, I believe we're going to go ahead and call it there. What, for about 3 hours? It took us 3 hours to determine this gen. But yeah, next up will be Gen 4, and then we'll Gen 8. That's actually probably there's a lot of more edible ones in there. But hey, thank you guys for hanging out, and again, make sure you guys are in the Discord. More videos coming soon, TM. I uploaded a video today if you haven't already watched it. It was fantastic. Another very fun video, which, if you're watching this stream, I can guarantee you'll probably be interested in. I believe on Tuesday, if I can have things ready in time. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully we'll have another stream on Saturday.